Evening, everyone. Evening. I hope everyone is well this evening. Thought we'd come on, have a little stream. Because there's no stream in the morning because the football's on. So I thought we'd come on, do a bit of maybe a fan call in, people calling, whatever you wanna call it, and maybe discuss what you think's going on in the world of Tottenham Hotspur at the moment, as in transfers, as in the grander scheme of things. It's entirely up to you what you people want to talk about. I have put the link in the chat. I think it's there. It is there. There it is. If you scroll down right under Claire's comment, you'll find it there. So there you go. Hopefully we'll get a few people jump on, as you lot have almost requested this show to come on and talk about it. If you think I'm sitting here talking for 2 hours, you've got another thing coming. You lot know how I feel, right? And at the end of the day, it's about what you lot feel. So hopefully, as a few more people come in, let me get rid of that for a sec. As a few more people come in, a few people might join. And as I say that, this therapy geezer has come straight in. Evening, Anthony. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. How about you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. And we're also joined by Mr. T.
Hello, mate.
Well.
You all right?
Oh my word! I can't believe it. What's going on? Look, what's this here? Look. We've got special here. Special here. Look at this.
Oh, Uncle Lubo.
Look at this. They've been calling for him for
Royalty.
Weeks.
Same as you, mate. I'm just a fan.
There he is. Good evening to all of you. Thanks for jumping on. Stay as long or as short as you wish to. If you disappear, I won't take umbrage from it. Just saying, some people have got a life instead of sitting on here talking about Spurs. But there you go, indeed. Anthony, I'll start with you. Big up to all of you for coming in, by the way. Anthony, title of the show, are Spurs bottling the transfer window? Now, before you answer that, I know that there's still about 4 weeks to go. All right. But, you know, I've spoken to a few people and we saw the big rush at the beginning, the players that came in. Then we saw the hullabaloo of Spurs spending big money on 2 players. And then it's all gone quiet over there. And there's a few people that are like, are we going the way we did before type of thing? But I'm just asking. I'm not saying we're doing that, by the way. Anthony, how do you feel that the transfer window has gone and is going so far?
Well, I thought the way...
Echo.
Where's that?
Echo again. Oh.
Go
on, then. Carry on.
I'll try and... yeah.
Everyone mute for a minute and just let Anthony talk. There's something wrong with. I don't know what's going on with this. Hang on a second, Ian. There you go. Let me just mute for a minute, Anthony.
Yeah. Should I go ahead? Okay, cool. So, at first I thought when we were signing these players, we signed obviously Senesi, Van Hert, Fernandez, Tonali. I was thinking, I was loving life and stuff. Suddenly it's got a bit quiet and stuff. And even the links to some players have gone a bit dry. I don't understand the fascination with the Savinho one. I like Savinho, but we've been chasing him for 2 years, and this deal just it's not seemed to be getting over the line. And in my opinion, if I think, is it Man City probably want too much money for him or whatever, but I just think walk away and stuff. I think there's better options out there. Now, I like Savinho, and I think he'll improve our side. Just I'm not having tell. There's players there I just don't rate. So I do like Savinho, but I also think there are better options. And if Man City are not going to lower their price or whatever it is, then move on and just go for someone else. I don't see the fascination of you know, what has Savinho got gold in his ankles or something? I don't know what the fascination of trying to get him for. Like I said, I like him, but if Man City are not lowering their price tag or whatever, it's just move on to someone else. I don't really understand. Um, I'm a little bit worried now. I mean, I was very optimistic at one point, but we've got like a month to the season and we've not even signed any strikers. And I've heard Richarlison wants to stay, and I think we have to be a bit ruthless here because I mean he's clearly not good enough for Spurs. He's awful. Even I've seen the clips of the pre-season games against MK Dons and other games where his hold-up play is just awful. He's never going to get better. So we need to ship him off, but it starts. I do start getting worried when he comes out stuff like he wants to stay, which I don't really blame him because it's a new project and all this stuff. But there's not. I mean, we were linked to Troopy and Savinho, but all the links of all the players we were linked to, they've just seemed to have all dried up. So I am starting to get a bit sweetie bum time now, a bit a bit itchy now because we haven't got long to the season starts, and I do think we will bring players in, but we are pushing it a bit fine.
Fair play, fair play. Cheers, Anthony. If you can mute Anthony, I'll come to Mr.
Yeah.
T now, and we'll finish with Ian. We'll see where this echo is coming from. Go on, Mark. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you guys. And I don't know if the echo's coming from me or what, but what I would say to that with the Savinho thing is it's what De Zerbi wants, probably more than what we want. Because obviously Savinho's left-footed, so whether we want somebody to go drive down the line and then cross the ball in, rather than a right-footed cutting back in and shooting,
Yeah.
It's up to him really. But there was reports today that he's told City he wants to leave, and he's had enough basically. And this is a case of City playing hard ball, and same with Krupi. I think we'll get him, but I think we'll go down the wire, and it's a test of how much what we want to pay for him and how much Bournemouth want to sell him for. It could be a lot of money.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mark. If it goes that way, it is going to cost a lot of money. Evening, Ian. Hope you're well, mate. Thanks for jumping on. Really appreciate it. What's your feeling, Ian, so far with the window and, how it's going? Obviously, like everyone said, 4 weeks to go. Should it be panic stations yet?
No. Do you know what? We've spent nowhere near, what was it? Tonali was 92.5 plus add-ons. Fernandez was 85. You know, that's with Fernandez was 50% more than we've ever spent on a player before. Slank is the record signing at 57 million. So for them to suddenly, the wage cap's gone. They're spending much more on individual players. You've got Rafi Mawson, who is now is a great negotiator. City were gutted; they lost him, put him on garden leave. He joined the club 15th of June. Tonali and Fernandez follow soon after. They're on it. They are on it. They're not messing about. The fact that nothing's happening doesn't mean, or should I say, the fact that no one's been signed doesn't mean that nothing's happening behind the scenes. I've every confidence that we'll get two players in. He wants three. I think he'll probably settle for two. We'll get a left winger, and we'll get when I say a centre forward, Krupp is more like a Thierry Henry style player, style centre forward. He's not a regular target man, Solanke type centre forward. So, for me, will he get those Savinho and Krupp? I hope so. They've moved on from Liao, I've heard, and for me, it's it's all good. It's all good. When did we ever sign 6 players? Within the first month of the window, never. When did we ever sign 6 players? I mean, I think in fact, the only time that's happened in a window, never this early. We did the first year that when Perisic brought in, I think Udogi, Basuma, Vicario, and then Ange came in afterwards and brought in Madison. Who else was there? Madison, Van der Ven, and then 1 or 2 others I think that
Yep.
followed. So for me, I'm comfortable. We've got 25 days till Brentford, and then we've got a further 10 days till the end of the window after that. So for me, we've still got 5 more weeks. Let's just relax. This is Tottenham, and transfers don't just happen. They're not going to happen. They're not going to fall into our lap. We've got to go out, make it work, make it happen. There are many variables in a transfer process, and at the moment, the ducks aren't quite all in a line. So when they are, we'll finalise. And there aren't 1,000,001 forwards out there, are there? In this transfer window.
No, there's not, Ian.
There's plenty of defenders and midfield players, but there aren't many forwards. So for me, De Zerbi wants who he wants. We've had enough of buying players and spending big money on players that it doesn't happen. So I'd much rather he take his time and spend a bit longer. If he's going to spend 65 on say Sevilla, or he's going to spend 100 on Krupi, or another, then let him make sure he gets it right, because hopefully you're looking at a longer term manager than normal, and you don't want to be wasting money. Transfers have gone through the roof now. They're mental this year.
It's mad, Ian, isn't it? The prices.
So you don't want Spurs wasting, listen, people turn around and say, we did 48 on Richarlison, we've done 57 on Solanke, we did 54 on Ndombele, we did 36 on Sanchez. And you're looking at all these buys, and it's massive money that we've wasted. Along with, Ange came in, bought 18 players, aside from Werner's double loan, bought 18 players, spent just under 400 million. And you can't say he spent well, generally. How many have been successes? So, you can't. Arsenal spent $1 billion, we've spent 900 million in the last 5-6 years. And where is it? Look where they are. They were in May, and look where we were. So enough of wasting money, enough of rushing in, spending big money on the wrong players. Let him get the right player in at the right time. I'm quite cool with that.
Fair play, Ian. Listen, makes me feel a bit better. If you're cool, I'm sort of cool, because I know if you thought things were like a bit on the iffy side, I think you'd say so, wouldn't you?
Cookie, there's no point worrying anyway. It's out of our control, isn't it?
I know, Ian. I know, but you know what it's like. As Benji uses this word, hopium a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's it just is what it is, and I know, like we always say on here, Ian, everyone will have different opinions on every single player that's mentioned or at Tottenham Hotspur. You know what I mean? And what will be. I just don't know. And if I can go through another season of Richarlison and Solanke, I know Solanke's probably not going to go anywhere, everyone, but surely Richarlison's got to go, hasn't he? They've got to get rid of him somehow, some way, shape or form. An evening to Benji and Corey, by the way.
Evening.
Evening. Whoever wants to go, Richarlison, he's got to go, hasn't he? Or
Can I just say something very, very quickly on the... Am I echoing?
Yeah, everyone mute if you don't mind, apart from Benji. If you don't mind, there's something wrong with, I don't know, with...
If we all mute one by one, I should fix it.
Yeah. No, we had this the other night.
Want to go first?
I think it's StreamYard, Benji. I think it's something to do with StreamYard. Yeah, it's one of them, mate. So if everyone mutes, it'll just be easier. Then there'll be no echo, probably. But there you go.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say something ever so quick. I think it's every Spurs fan's God-given right to panic. Look, listen, this is Tottenham. Whatever Lubo's smoking, Lubo, send me some of that in a package, mate, because I need that level of calm, my man. I do.
Yeah.
Look, we've had 25 years of maybes, if, buts, and all that crap. So I understand. I mean, I'm one of them myself. I'm freaking out a little bit myself, because the problem is, like, we've been given such a fantastic start to this season, this transfer window, sorry. You know, you'd like to think from a Spurs perspective, it's continue as you start kind of thing. What's that saying? Start as you mean to go on.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm panicking a little bit because I'm seeing options dwindling. You know, you know when things aren't going great because Spurs get linked with Nico Williams again. I don't know if you guys remember all those links in the past. Yeah. It does the rounds, doesn't it? But yeah, for me, I'm not quite on Lubo's boat. I wouldn't mind being, but yeah, I'm panicking a little bit. I can't see where we're going. You know, like striker, left winger. I mean, bless Savinho. I would chop off my left leg to get that guy in. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but for me, I think he'd absolutely cook at Spurs. Like just the thought of having Kudus, Savinho. I don't care what defence you're part of. You're going to panic, right? You are going to panic because these guys, they don't play around. They can ghost two players fairly easily, you know? So, I don't know. But yeah, for me, guys, I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't nervous. There you go.
That's a fair comment, mate. I think I'm about where you are, Benji. I'm like you. I'm not quite on Ian's love boat thing that's going down the thing, all calm and everything. But
it's a nice change, though, Lubo. It's a lovely change, mate.
Yeah, it is. It is a nice change.
What have you done with Lubo?
Yeah, bring him back. Where'd he go?
Corey,
This is evil twin.
yeah. Corey, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, fella. It's just having some cheeky dinner as I came on.
Why not? Why not? Indeed, got to be done, mate. Do you want us to? I can come to you in a minute if you want to finish.
I'm done now. It was just a sandwich.
You're done, mate. That's all right. What's your thoughts, Corey? Sorry to ask the same question again. Is there anything you're worried about forwards wise? Will it happen for you? It's just we've got 4 or 5 weeks. It'll be all right, type of thing. But the thing I'm worried about is what Ian said earlier, Corey, which is, yeah, there are defenders out there. There are midfielders out there that you can get hold of. But the old striker market is a bit on the dry side. They're wanting big money for players, and whether you think they're worth it or not is a different matter. Over the last couple of years, the figures that are being bandied about for players is just unbelievable.
I can imagine, what's it?
I saw today Bradley Barcola, PSG. Yeah, we'll sell him, but we want 170 million. I mean, what's going on?
170.
170 for him. He's a good player, but not 170 million's worth.
I don't think
That's
it's
what I mean.
Euros, that's euros. 145 million pounds.
That's still
145,
145 million
It's
now.
a lot of money, Ian, isn't it? It's a lot of
And
money.
he's not even.
I mean,
he's not even
can you
first
just
choice.
imagine?
He's not first choice for PSG, is he? You got Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, and Doué.
Who are you?
Yeah. And I mean, like, going back 20 years, yeah? Alan Shearer was 20 million British transfer record.
There you go. 20 million.
Cost of inflation, I wonder what a Shearer would be worth now. Probably about 170.
Probably. Something like that, mate. Something like that,
I'm
Corey.
I'm kind of sitting on Ian's boat here. I'm being relaxed with this transfer window. This
Yeah,
echo
goes
is
back.
this
Hang on.
echo is deafening.
It's all right.
Hello?
It's me, Corey. I'm muted.
Oh, it's you. All right, buddy.
Yeah, it was me that muted.
I mean-
Go on, mate. Carry on.
I'm in Ian's boat here. I'm got 5 weeks potential to really look at players properly. We've got a guy that can actually get a deal done, get players signed in with this new guy that's coming from City. I'm sitting here just optimistic. Savinho, quality. Krupi, love him. And then just get me another right winger so that when Kudus falls, we don't have to rely on Tell. That's where I'm sitting. With the strikers, I'd want both Solanke and Dom gone. Oh, sorry, Solanke and Richarlison gone. I want them both gone. I can't take another year of them.
I don't think Solanke will be going anywhere, mate. I'll be shocked. Someone will have to come in with a 40 million special to take him off our hands, I think. But
Quickly, have you heard about the
Listen.
Romero news today?
go on, enlighten me, mate. I did read something this morning, but you know what it's like. Yeah, go on.
Inter, because Inter were the favourites to sign him.
Yeah.
Well, now they're going for John Stones. They're not interested much. They'll take him as a loan with an obligation buy, but they won't pay outright for him. But I've also heard another story that apparently, according to reports in Spain, he's waiting for Barcelona. So I don't know what's happening there.
Nothing like desperation on that one, yeah.
Interesting. Look, going back to Spurs, who, in your opinion, because like Ian said, there is a bit of a striker shortage going on out there at the moment, and there's no doubt prices are, or do seem to be, very inflated, I would say, especially when you're getting up to the upper echelons, let's say, of the market.
Talent.
Yes, that'll do, Corey. Talent, yes. Where do we draw the line at, or is it because we've got this loads of money tag now that do you think that's putting more money on a player's price, if you like, from what they're
Definitely.
willing to pay and what we're gonna pay, if you want to put it like that?
Cookie.
Go on. Yeah.
Oh, I've got an echo as well.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, mate. I don't know what to say.
I'm panicking a little bit.
Okay.
Absolutely. I don't buy this. We've got 5 weeks left. Right, that's bollocks. Yeah, we haven't got 5 weeks left. We've got what? 3 weeks till first game. So distracting hearing myself. We've got 3 weeks. What? 3 weeks to the first game. Pre-season's already started. We were all very, very excited with the fact. Is there no chance that is everybody muted?
Yeah. Can everyone mute, please?
Including you, Cookie. And there's still an echo. No, there isn't. So is it Cookie? We found how it is. We've got 3 weeks to the first game. We're already on pre-season, right? We're all very, very excited by the fact that we had. Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it with the echo. Sorry, I can't do it with the echo. All right, there we go. We're all very excited that we got deals done early, so we got players who are integrating, and let's be clear, yeah, deal options are dwindling. Yeah, you need to get off their asses and get some deals done, both outgoing and incoming. I'm just so not on the Savio train, and it's not because I don't think he might not be a good player. It's because we've got one might be a good player on the left wing at the moment, and that's all we've got on the left wing. And we're buying another might be a good player on the left wing. So we've got. So if we get, and let's be clear, we're not getting rid of Tell. Nobody's coming in to buy Tell from us. However much people are like, I'll just get rid of him. He ain't going anywhere unless somebody buys him, and nobody's buying him. So we're going to end up with two might be good players on the left wing. They might hit 5 GA.
I think there's a golfing quality between the two. Do you not?
I think they're the same. I think you can argue, but they're the same.
Well, I've never seen Tell produce the numbers that Savinho has in the past. That's
Girona, I'm not having it. I'm not having this. He produced numbers 3 years ago. There's plenty of players.
Man City,
there's
10
plenty
assists,
of players.
1 goal.
Pardon?
Man City, 10 assists, 1 goal in his first season.
Oh, I don't care. He's clearly failed at Man City, right? He's clearly failed at Man City. That's why they're looking to get rid, right? And no, there's no. It doesn't appear that there's anybody else beating down their door to get this player. There's there's nobody else in this race. We are bidding against ourselves. So whatever you want, right? He could be a 5 GA or he could be a 20. Yeah, I'm giving you that. He could be a 20 GA, but it's just as likely he's going to be a 5. And it's exactly the same with Tell. What we actually need to be doing in this window is we need to be getting a player in who will give you between 10 and 15. Does that make sense? So not somebody who might give us 5. This window and this window only, We need to be getting in a player who's going to give us 10 minimum, 50, and his ceiling is lower than either Tell or Savio, and he's just going to just clock it out. Let's put it this way: if I said to everybody on the panel, we're not going to get Savio, and we're going to get Jared Bowen, who's going to clock in at 15 GA, right? Absolutely, everybody would bite my hand off. Why? Because he's a steady Eddie. He'll give you a 7 or an 8, maybe a 9 every single game. The problem with Tell and Savio, they're going to give you a 4, and they might give you a 9 or a 10, and they'll give you everything in between. Our guys need to pull their fingers out and actually sort out the massive problem that we've got up front. They need to pull their fingers out and get it done, because the longer they leave it, the more likely that it won't happen.
Yeah, it's just one of them things, isn't it? Like, the winger/striker market is possibly the hardest to buy in nowadays, isn't it? Because most of the talented players are at the better clubs. We can't kid ourselves wrong, though. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, United, they all have that kind of stuff sort of sussed out, don't they? And everybody else is like scrapping around in the pool below, I would say. I mean, Garassi's out there. I keep saying get Garassi. I know he's 28, 29, but for 30 million for Borussia, he wants to leave. He's actually a solid striker. I would give him a chance.
Garassi's
I do like...
30, mate.
He's 30 now. Well, either
2
way,
years.
I mean...
2 years. 2 years. That's fine. That's all we need.
Yeah, I mean, I like Savio for what he done at Girona in his first season at City, and he's not really failed at City. It's just other players that come in that are being picked above him. Maybe it's something going on there with Savio at City. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and start playing devil's advocate on that one.
They don't want to get rid of him, do they?
They don't want to get rid of him. They don't want to get rid of him, but he wants to leave.
Keep hold of him.
I
the
mean,
higher ups have seen to that, So it's not that they want to get rid.
I mean, there isn't a lot of option. I memean, you won't be able to get Marmoush out of City because they're not going to sell him. So we can forget about the Marmoush idea. I do really rate Krupi, and people keep going, oh, he's only done one season in the Premier League. He did a season in France, scoring 22 goals at 17, 18. For your first season isn't too shabby. I know it's French League 2, as people put it, but it's still a professional league, and he still scored 22 goals.
That was League One, by the way. It's
League One, so it's still a high standard in France.
Yeah.
It's a high standard. You can't sit here and go, "Oh, because he's played in this league. Oh, because it's shit." No, at 18 years old, being accounted for and scoring 22 goals, it's sickening. And then we've also been linked to what's his name at Liverpool, Dutch kid. I can't remember his name.
Gakpo.
Oh yeah, it's going to wind me up. I've been linked to him. I like him, but I don't think Liverpool will sell him, to be honest. And then you just got to look around world football. There isn't many players out there that probably fit really what De Zerbi wants. So then we're looking again further afield, and hopefully we get these players in that they can play De Zerbi style. It's just getting a bit frustrating now. I mean, I'm confident and I'm calm, but at the same time, I'm like, just pull your finger out. You came up with your statement at the start of the season. We've neglected the team for God knows how long, and we're here. We're going to do it right now. Well, then prove it. Put the money on the table and shut us up as fans. That's all you've got to do.
Corey, I mean, what I see is, though, we've mentioned a lot of right footers that play on the left. How many good left footers actually play on the left wing?
There aren't many good left footers out there. I mean, a very good left-footed player in this market. It's like saying what Bale would be worth now, close to 200 million, isn't it? A left footer on the left wing. I mean, Savio is ambidextrous. He can use both feet, so that's what makes him stand out. He can take a player on. He can skin a player. He's got abundance of pace. That's what I want to see in a winger. I don't want to see Tell run at someone, then turn around and run the other way. Oh shit, there's someone in front of me, run back and then pass it backwards. I want someone to skin their left back, their right back. I want to see a guy drive with the ball, someone that gets you excited. I mean, everyone was going on about Liao, and I mean, I've watched the guy play. He's a very purple patch player. He'll play well for a month or two, then he'll go missing for 3 or 4 months, and he'll turn back up near the end of the season. We don't need that. Need people that can hit the ground running now. We've got to do this properly. I mean, could we tempt Matoma out of Brighton?
I think that ship has sailed for Matoma.
Oh, yeah, it has, but I'm just asking.
Matoma's not the player he was 2 or 3 years ago.
Probably doesn't fit the system.
He just isn't the player he was 2 years ago. He doesn't start regularly for Brighton anymore either. I think I'm right in saying he's just tailed off. He isn't the player that we remember.
Do you know what, right? The more we talk about it, the more I sit and I think Savinho really is the man for Spurs. I mean, the fact, Rain, and I apologise for saying this, the fact that you said Tell and Savinho are basically the same is an absolute disgrace. You should be ashamed, Rain. Look, the geezer's best position, right, is on the left-hand side of the pitch. He is a left winger predominantly. That's where he's done his best work. And at Manchester City, he's never really been played there. He's been played, Jesus Christ, they've played him on the right-hand side and in centre mid at times. I'll repeat that, centre mid. The geezer, he's clearly not happy at Man City. I want to ask you guys something, right? This notion of GA, right? People always look at GA rather than what a player really truly is. So, like, I watch a lot of football, and a lot of arguments I have with people is about GA, which is something I completely understand. But GA is never guaranteed. You could have a guy that gets 30, 40 GA, and then the next season scores 10. I don't think you can guarantee anything off previous GA from the last season. I really don't. I mean, I think if you watch players and you see what they're about and what they bring, then I just feel like people come to this different conclusion. Like when I watch Savinho, he don't look anything like Maffy's Tell. Maffy's Tell is predictable. Maffy's Tell hasn't got any significant talent to speak of. How many times, boys, and all of us did this year, did we say, what does Tell actually do? Go and watch Savinho and then come back to me and say, what does he actually do? Like, for me, boys, and Savinho, he wants Tottenham. He's followed everyone in the fucking club. Okay, the only thing he hasn't done is got a picture of himself in a Spurs shirt. The guy wants to come to the club. Does that not add a little bit more value to him as well? I mean, I don't know. It blows
He
my
also
mind.
played along Simmons as well, so there's that connection.
He did. I'm just saying, if you think through to conclusion, guys, surely Savinho.
We've got terrible echo again. I have been on, so I don't know what's going on with the echo thing, people. I do apologise.
Is everyone on mute?
Well, I was on mute all the time that Benji was talking. He had no echo, and then about 3/4 of the way through what he was saying, the echo started. So I don't know, mate. I was on mute, so I don't know. It's madness. Can you hear an echo now?
No.
We're being sabotaged.
That's what I mean. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. I just don't get it. I don't understand. But it is what it is. Anyone else got any more input maybe onto our where we go with a winger? And like you say, Ian, striker market's pretty dry out there unless you're going to go out and spend big bucks and pay big wages. Is a player like a Croupier at his age who's done it once, and I know he's a different profile of player and he's still only young and all that sort of stuff, but to you, Ian, is Croupier a Tottenham player, if you like? Is he our style of player?
Yeah, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him at Spurs. Go and get him, pay the money. Might mean 100 million. As a fan, I just want to see the best players on the pitch. It's been a long time since we've had that. It seems that probably through panic, probably because they saw their asset nearly drop 50% or more in value back end of last season. whatever reason, they're going out, they're behaving like a proper football club for the first time in a very, very long time. So for me, I'm not in it 2-0 but I am encouraged by the start. So they've got to keep it going. I'm not going to do a 180-degree flip from 25 years of ENIC out to ENIC in because of one window. But if they carry on like this, then it's good. They've got to get rid of Vinay. Got to get rid of that guy. He doesn't, for me, anyone who won't even consider putting a museum in, forget it. Not interested. Not interested. They've got to get rid of him. I think Lang at the moment is working with Rob McKenzie, putting together videos and data analysis on all the players for De Zerbi. That, from what I hear, is working out well. So I don't see Lang going anytime soon because De Zerbi's happy with that team at the moment. He's also happy with the way he's being backed. So, you know, there's no dissension behind the scenes. And, you know, Rafi Mawson's come in, doing a great job finalising deals. You know, he's been getting deals over the line. What's interesting is that he is ex-Man City, so he's probably got an added need, an added desire to get the Savinho one over the line. De Zerbi obviously wants him. And, you know, in fairness, we haven't seen Spurs play in a De Zerbi style yet, have we? He basically looked at the players he had and adapted accordingly with what he had to get us out of trouble for the last 7 games. So he dug out the wins. We scored 8, we conceded 7. It wasn't exactly free flowing, but we got there. He got the job done, and now with the pre-season, he can get the team into, you know, playing the way he wants to play. So I'm really looking forward to it. I fully expect them to get a couple of forwards in before the end of the window. You know, it's not a panic. It's 25 days till the season starts, and it's 35 days until the window closes. It's not a panic. You're shaking your head, Rain. This is hopefully a project for several years. We're not talking 3.5 weeks or 4.5 weeks.
Been here before. Been here before.
5 weeks on buy and play. I'm
Window
sorry,
isn't closed yet. Window isn't closed yet. I've heard it so many times.
This is not.
It's a
Listen,
broken
he will
record.
buy who he wants to buy. And you know, it took Arteta 12 windows to get from the squad that he inherited to lift in that Premier League. Now, De Zerbi's come in and he wants to win trophies. He wants to win the league, and we're all moaning. We're halfway through the first window, and it took Arteta 12, and we're all moaning halfway through. Oh my God, we haven't bought this one. We haven't bought that one. We've got 6 players so far that he thinks improved the squad massively. So for me, what is the panic? What is the panic? There's, you know,
We've neglected the worst part of our squad. That's why.
Ian, we're not going to get
But Benji, what do you mean we've neglected the football side of the club? That's neglect. This isn't neglect. Do you not think they're trying to get forwards over the line? Do you not think they've been talking to clubs and working with people? And what, you know, what divine right have we got to just snap our fingers and the guy comes through the door? Come on, guys, let's get real. This is football. You know, sometimes things take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
We're not entitled to have 8 players in before the season starts. We got 6 in before the season starts. I mean, bloody hallelujah! That's a miracle for our club. We'll get 2 more. You know what? And if they come in on August the 31st, and if they miss the first 2 games of the season, they miss the first 2 games of the season. Hopefully, they're going to be there for another 200-300. So, what is the panic? I don't get this whole, oh my God, nothing's happened for a few weeks. You know, there's lots of talk. There's always lots of talk. There's always players that are linked with the club.
we're not going to get a traditional number 9, are we? Though we're going to get a utility player.
We're not. He doesn't want a traditional number.
That's
9.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
He's got for his option B. He's got Solanke. If he brings someone like Krupi in, he's got a different type of centre forward that plays in the Thierry Henry type of role.
Yeah. To go play multiple positions.
That's right. So he doesn't need a number 9. And how many number 9s are there that are out there? There aren't many, are there?
Well, hold on. Do you not think? See, this is something that's come up so much.
Can you just mute for a second, please? Go on,
Hello. Anyone else?
Go on, Benji.
Yep, we're good.
Lubo, I'm sure it's you, mate. Because when you were talking, there was no echo, and then when other people started talking, there was an echo.
To be fair, it was also Cookie as well, and then it seemed to stop with Cookie. So I don't know if it's doing the rounds. I don't know. Sort of like, you know what I mean? It's a nightmare. But look, listen. Do you know what? Right, something I noticed people keep saying: this striker market is limited. Huh? Why? There's plenty of the strikers out there that Spurs are capable of getting. I can name 5 off the bat. Someone like a Pavlidis, a Ferran Torres, a Garassi. I don't know if you guys are aware of this person, but a Samu Agahawa. I know he's young, but his GA, if we're going to talk about... Hold on, Lou. I see you shaking your head. He's going to bite my head off in a minute. I can feel it. Listen, Samu Agahawa's GA, right? His ratio, goals per game, I think is very, very respectable. I mean, look, I know it's a Porto, and you can say the league's crap, whatever. Regardless, he's still producing the numbers. I think last season he must have got injured because he didn't play that much. I think he played 20 games last season and got like 13 goals. But aside from those 4, you've then got maybe an Oshiman. I mean, I see no reason why you can't go and slam down 90, 95, maybe 100 million for an Oshiman. I get his wages are sky high, but a chance to come to the Premier League, then maybe he drops his wages. But for me, off the bat, that's just off the top of my head, there's 5 strikers that would infinitely improve Spurs' forward line. Like, I keep hearing that there's not enough number 9s going around. Well, you know, number 9 strikers, whatever you want to bring in. They're out there. I don't get why people are saying that there's not. I mean, maybe someone can tell me something different, but I don't see a lack of.
So let's be clear. Let's be clear. All right. Lubo is nice and relaxed. There's plenty of weeks until the window closes. Why are people worrying? Okay, here we go. Right, here we go. You ready? We got one left winger. His name's Matisse Tell. One left winger. His name's Matisse Tell. We got 2 strikers, right? Richarlison and Solanke. You know, some rate either one. Nobody rates both. On the right-hand side, we have no fit right wingers, apart from maybe Mana Solomon. So you can be nice and relaxed. You can sit back and go, there's no problems here. I make you wrong. I think there is a big problem. And they need to pull their fingers out and sort it out. Because the longer they leave it, the closer we get to another Randall, Colo, emergency, Moani. That's what's going to happen.
Let me ask you, Rain, let me ask you, do you not think De Zerbi knows what he needs up front? Seriously. Do you think he had that team for the last 7 games of last season? You look at the way the strikers played in those friendlies, the Milton Keynes game. Do you seriously think that he doesn't know what he needs up front? Honestly?
Well, that's my point.
Of course he does.
Well, that's my point. All the fingers out.
What do you think he's been saying?
Could you mute it again for a minute?
We can't get it. De Zerbi has said, hang on, De Zerbi has said in the last few days that when he gets his forwards in and completes the buys, then the project gets going. Do you not think he knows it? He is well aware. They are doing their best to get forwards through the door. Sometimes it doesn't happen. It's not a question of pull your finger out. Pull your finger out insinuates that they're not doing enough. They're doing plenty. They're working really hard at getting forwards.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
just
correct.
so much the players in; it's also the players out.
Correct.
We need more of them out.
And at the moment, Corey, they're 4 players over on the non-homegrown. They've got 21. They've got to get at least 4 outs, and then get players out to bring in replacements. So in effect, they've got to get 6 outs to bring in 2 forwards.
Exactly. So Lubo, if you could just mute for a second so that we can do it without an echo. Perfect. Now, absolutely, Corey, what you're saying, mate. There is so much work to do, right? And we're pissing about in on the other side of the world again, right? Rather than having local games against lower leagues and non-league teams, whatever, and actually getting the job done. We're messing about over in Australia. I joke around, but I bet you it's close. We almost spend more time in the air than we do on a training pitch, right?
Yeah, we are.
It's just ridiculous. So, Lubo, for everything you've just said, yes, they are not. Then they need to get work done, and the longer it isn't done, the more likely it doesn't get done. That's the reality.
I mean, all these preseason friendlies abroad, it just I can't get happy about preseason anymore like I used to as a kid. It's like I used to be able to go and watch Tottenham play at like with Dean or something in Brighton. You know, they'd come down and play Brighton in League Two when I was a kid. I'm like, hey, get to watch my team. You know. And now it's everyone's on their jolly holidays because the World Cup's finished, and then you get in all the players that aren't going to be playing, you know, doing a preseason tour. They're only there to try and make a commercial to push the brand of the team and the club and everything out there. But when you're playing teams like Auckland, I'm expecting you to beat teams like fucking Auckland. You know, everyone gassing up Archie Gray's amazing pass. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, really? It's a shame you can't do that in the Premier League, isn't it?
And I'm sorry, guys, if anybody's got any delusions, right? Luca Williams-Barnett is a 17-year-old kid. He may have talent, he may have skills, but he has got a long way to go before he's a Premier League footballer. A long way to go. He's got a lot of work to do. If he started in a Premier League game, let's say against Sunderland,
He'd get rinsed.
They would chew him up and they would spit him out.
It's just like with Mikey Moore as well. I'm sorry, going on loan to Scotland isn't a loan in a decent league. If you went on loan to somewhere, say like Germany, I'd have a bit more respect for that. But you're going to a club and a nations league that's ranked 38th in world football. You know what I mean? You could go to Germany. Hell, you could even go to Belgium, who are 8th in world rankings in football, because their league is better than Scotland. But no,
I think what this comes down to, and all due respect to Lubo, because I understand what Lubo. Look, I understand what you're saying. The club are working behind the scenes, right? Granted, I can see that. I just think everyone's got. I think everyone's got a right to panic because of our past discretions. You know, we are sort of famously known for Analysis FC. You know, we're keeping tabs on. We're close to bidding. You know what I mean? Like, you could fill up
about Damiel.
Team of
the old bingo
really
thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you've got to understand, Lou. I think that's probably where all of our concerns are coming from. I mean, you know, again, to go and pull the trigger on players like Tonali, I nearly mixed the words then, Tonali and Fernandez, you know, to pull the trigger so quickly on those two, you know, really, really showed Spurs are trying to do things different. And every fan here appreciates that 100%. But like Rainer so rightly pointed out, we're in serious trouble up top. And I think that's why people are panicking a bit, because
I've never watched the Scottish Premier League. Sure. The Farmers League of Two. Sure. I've never watched that league.
But you've also got the likes of Savinho. We've been dancing with him for nearly 2 seasons now. You know, I'm just saying, like, there's got to come a point where you just go out and throw the money down and get who you need to get. If De Zerbi does know who he wants, then do what you did with Tonali and Fernandez, you know?
And Benji, I'd almost have more respect for him, to be honest, if they just got the deal done. And to be honest, I think part of my Savinho thing, part of my, I'll be honest, you know, I've got a thing about Savinho. I don't see why we're spending so much time, right, to sign him. Basically, I think we're getting picked about by Man City. They messed us about last season and they pulled the plug. Yeah, that's well documented that's what happened. It feels like they're doing exactly the same again now. And like I said on Sean's show, it feels like we're getting highballed by Man City. We have to pay 65, 70 million quid for a player that they signed for 25, 2 years ago, admittedly from their own club, but still 25 million for a third choice left winger that they signed for 25 mil. And yet the market is so poor that we can't. I doubt we're going to get 40 for Romero. A World Cup winning centre back.
Which makes no sense.
So we're being highballed and lowballed. At some point, you've got to grow some cojones and just go, do you know what? You're messing me about. I'm going to walk away. And that's why I feel with Man City and Savinho.
I think we're being lowballed for players going out. There's got to be a want, hasn't there, to buy the players that we have. And given the last 2 seasons, I could understand why a lot of teams wouldn't be interested. But, with Romero, again, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that is an absolute disgrace. 40 million for a player like Romero. I mean, look, we all know his shortcomings for sure. But this is a World Cup winning captain. Yeah. What he's capable of on his day, I'm just, it doesn't make any sense. And what you were saying about Savinho, and this is just what I've heard on the grapevine, because of the market, inflation, how it's gone crazy, I've now heard that Man City want 80 million for Savinho, which even for me, I think is too much. I love the guy.
How much? They wanted 70 million. 70. They want 70 million.
Right. When one person's talking, the rest of us have got to mute because there's definitely an echo coming. I've been on mute all the time then. Yeah, I can hear myself now in someone's thing. Yeah, it's just stopped. There you go. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say now because of the echoing. Oh my God, I forgot what I was going to say. There was a question on here, actually. Someone's put about, who was it? Let me find it a second. I just brought it up and then I took it off again.
Well, somebody asked the question, have I got any names in my, whilst you look for it?
That was what it was to do with names, people talking about names. Let's have some names of people.
Hayden or something. Gakpo's a perfect example. You're getting 10 to 15 GA out of that guy. Full stop. Bingo bango. I keep on saying Kevin Sade and everybody shoots me down, but he gets 10 to 15 GA. Right? And yes, we all want the superstar. We all want, the next Heung-min Son who's going to absolutely fly. But really, really what we need right now is someone who's going to just deliver, 10 assists, 5 goals. That's what we really need.
Yeah, but I don't look at football as GA. I look at football as the sport. I can't do all this XG, fucking GA. I'm old school. I watch football because I enjoy watching football. I don't want to go
shove your GA up your arse, Ryan. Shove it up your arse.
This player gives you 20 GA, but what has he done the whole season? I'd rather watch a player play and get the GA than just talking about and banging on about GA. When the fuck did football become about GA when I was a kid? It didn't. You never talked about it. You went to watch the match.
You talked about how many goals a striker got, and we talked about how many assists a winger got.
Yeah, I mean, but back in
We
the day,
knew what-
it wasn't such an overbearing thing, was it? It's just stats. Oh my god, my camera keeps going in and out because I need light. Yeah, the stats thing is just being over bloated for players now. Like I'm an old school believer of using your eyes to watch a player instead of just going on a sheet.
I'm sorry, I'm as old as you, and we used to talk about how many goals a striker got, and we used to talk about how many assists a winger
I
got.
can understand what a striker's job is to do, is to put it in the net. But the striker's job is to stay up front. The wingers, the wing backs, the midfielders are there to supply the striker.
Read that comment. Read that comment. Go back to that, Cook, if you can, mate.
Yeah, fair.
Prime example.
Brendan Johnson was shit. I said he was shit when we signed him, and I got shot down.
No, but what he's saying is his GA was absolutely phenomenal, really, for a winger.
It was kind of.
Team Virgin Bale with none of the skill.
Can I come in here, guys? Firstly, let's start with Gakpo. Liverpool are not selling, so let's forget him. That's number one. Number two, Bournemouth have said at the moment they're not entertaining any offers for Krupi. So you can't drag players out if their parent club don't want to sell them. And if you're talking about stats, if you just working players on stats, Johnson's stats are better than Ginola's. Ginola's in a different 100 levels better than Johnson. So let's not get too hung up on stats and GA and all this shit. And do you know what? I've been watching football 60 years. It's only recently people are talking about assists, and it wasn't about who, it was about who made the goals. The word assist didn't even exist even 20 years ago. They weren't talking about assists.
That Newcastle fan, I'll go back to that comment. That Newcastle fan doesn't understand what Tonali's real game is.
Okay.
I agree with you, Lugo, by the way. 100%, I'm with you all the way.
You're wrong. You're wrong. 20 years ago, can you mute again, please, everybody? So, 20 years ago, we were talking about Drogba and Lampard being the highest goals and assists pairing. We may not have called it GA, but we've always talked about goals and we've always talked about assists. We have. People may not like it, and let's be real here, right? Let's be real. People may not like focusing on GA, and yes, we like we like players who play good football, but we finished 17th twice. We need to score goals. That means we need people to assist them, and we need to keep clean sheets, right? So you may not like the stats, but if we don't want to finish 17th or worse again, we need to actually get the stats. It's a fact, right? If we don't score goals, and if somebody doesn't set them up, and we don't keep clean sheets, we're going to end up back where we were.
Look, do you know what? I've got another example.
No, we're not. Hang on. We've got better defend. Got a better defence. We've got a better midfield. This team, even if we didn't strengthen up front, this team would not finish 17th. Absolutely no way. They will probably draw a lot of games. They wouldn't win anywhere near as many as they should be, but we won't be losing many with Van Heck, Van de Ven, Senesi, Porro, Spence, Tonali, Fernandez, Gallagher, Bentancur. Sorry, we won't be losing that many games. We may not win many, but we won't be losing many, and we'll probably finish mid-table.
So, are we going to become defensive Tottenham FC, Lubo? Is that what you're saying? What you're saying is we're going to become clean sheets. 1-0 to the Tottenham. Is that the way it's going to be?
Can I ask a question? If we won the league, winning 15 games 1-0 as part of 85 points, would you complain? Would you be moaning? Would you be walking down the high road the day we win the league saying, "God, this was shit. We won 1-0 on several occasions"? I don't think so, Rain.
It's not about me though, is it, mate? It's about the fact that Conte was doing a half decent job, and the fan base absolutely revolted. Why did they revolt? Wait a second. I will finish. Right. Why did they revolt? Because the game is about glory. There is a culture at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club that we expect free-flowing attacking football. And if it isn't delivered, the fan base has repetitively revolted. That's just the reality.
Rain, that didn't work in Europe, did it? When we won 1-0 against Man U. We played awful in that competition, but we won it. So
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just saying, if you look back at our history, look at Frank. People hate Frank, right? And one of the reasons why they hate Frank is because of the type of football he played. It's just the way we are.
yeah, but he didn't win a competition, did he? So
We don't need to argue about it. We just need to accept that is the way that the fan base is.
I'm not arguing. Ange won that competition because we played awful and won 1-0. Nobody cared because we won a trophy.
Can I ask you, what do you think is more important, Rain? GA or a player fitting a system? So it's previous season's GA to a player coming in that fully suits the system. What do you deem more important? Got you there, and I.
No. Well, because they go hand in hand, don't they? They clearly go hand in hand. The problem that I've got. Can we mute? Can we mute again? Are we muted? Yeah, we're good. The problem is that they clearly go hand in hand, but there's a risk, Benji. There's a risk with someone who has not produced it. You know, that's why traditionally, you know, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club went and just signed players who'd already been doing it in the lower reaches of the First Division or Premier League. That's what we traditionally did. We used to go and get players who'd already done it or who'd done it somewhere else. We very, very rarely, it's only in the last 10, 15 years that we've been going and getting young and promising players. That's why we got where we are, because of that attitude, because of that mindset. So yes, we absolutely need, and actually that's the biggest risk with Gakpo and Rashford. Yeah, and I said it. I can't remember whose show I was on. Maybe on with Adrian. The biggest, you know, lots of people have been talking about Rashford, and the biggest risk with Rashford is you need a different type of fullback behind him because he ain't tracking back. Yeah, he ain't coming back. He ain't giving any support to his fullback. So he's just going to stay up there. So you instantly need a different type of fullback to say someone like Tell who will put the work in, and someone like Savio who I would expect to get up and down. So I do hear you. I want both. But what I really want is as low risk as possible.
That's fair. Yeah, I hear that. That's fair. I mean, again, the only example I've got of GA not quite working out is someone like. I mean, I know this is a bit of a crazy example, but someone like a Gokares. Gokares got, what did he get? 40, 50 GA in that Portuguese league. Comes to Arsenal and scores, what was it, 13? So this is like one of the hang-ups I've got with previous season GA.
I'm just going to add something to that.
Torres.
Glenn Murray had it right. Glenn Murray had it right.
I'm not getting the reference. Sorry, go on, explain that to me. I'm so sorry. Go on.
Basically, Glenn Murray, when he was playing for Brighton, when Gokares was there, Glenn Murray called him shit and he wouldn't ever amount to anything in the Premier League.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Apart from his little medal, he hasn't really scored much or done much for Arsenal, has he? So Glenn Murray has it right, and this is the only time I'll agree with Glenn Murray, the traitorous bastard.
I'll give you a better example. Andy Cole absolutely flew at Newcastle. What? He got so many goals.
You know,
because he was just fed. Can we go on back on mute? Tough. Because he was just fed, and he was just absolutely. And then when he went to Man United, he had to carve out a different type of football.
So what are we doing here? Are we going to get away from the fact that GA isn't the all and end all of a player coming in?
Are you telling me that ultimately you don't want Savio to score 15 goals next season?
Of course I do, but
Right.
you know
But
what?
if-
You talk. No, hold on. You talk about minimal risk, right? And you are right. I'm with you wholeheartedly there. But we've seen Savio produce previously, so we know he's capable. When you compare him to the likes of Tell, you've never seen Tell produce that ever in his career. I mean, all I'm simply trying to say is when it comes to GA, and I do get there is an importance to it. I see that because it shows a player being capable. But with someone like Savino, you've seen that he's capable. So for me, I do think that's perhaps slightly less of a risk. And you know what? I think he'd be perfect for a Deserby system. The geezer is lightning. He's such a great player to watch. You know, just having someone in your squad capable of ghosting two or three players at one time. I mean, come on. Go on. You're muted, by the way.
it's absolutely 100% not coming from me. Look, Benji, let me put it like this: we didn't have Tell already. I wouldn't be that fussed. If we already had a left winger who was going to deliver more certainty of assists and goals, then I wouldn't be that worried. Seriously, can we go on mute? Cool. I really wouldn't be that. It's just that it feels like we're getting two of them. Two who might be. I'm going to say it again. Who might be 5 and might be 20, and the risk is that they both become 5. GA, right? And then you like, let's say they're all assists. They've only assisted 10 goals in the season. You need lots. You need 60, 70. You need 80 odd goals to get yourself into a decent place in the Premier League.
I don't know. For me, I just think it's a little bit farcical, personally, because you can't guarantee GA. It's something that is not guaranteed. You can find out if a player's capable, for sure, but guaranteeing it the following season. I mean, for instance, the likes of Kudus, we don't know what he's going to do this season. He might go and score 10 goals. Is it likely? Maybe not. But it could happen. I mean, look, to be fair, in his first season for West Ham, and again, call me out here, didn't he get 10 goals in that first season for West Ham? You're on muted again. You can stay off mute because it's not you who's echoing, Rain.
Yeah, but I like to be polite, and actually, it does help me not interrupt if I go on mute.
Oh, did it?
Because then I can talk and like I'm not being rude. But no, yeah, if you look at Kudus' numbers now, they're not actually that great, to be honest. And there you go. There's the risk. We desperately need some goals. We really do. We desperately need some goals. The midfielders which we've just signed, they're not going to get us goals. They're not going to get us. They might get us 5. It might get us 5 each, maybe. But they're none of them are a Scholes or a Lampard. They're not going to bang in 15. Richarlison's getting you 10 to 15. Even to be fair to him, even when injured, he still gets 10 odd.
Don't mention that man's name in my presence ever again, please.
Solanke, nobody has any idea. Is Maddison going to be fit? I don't know. He hasn't travelled, has he? Kudus hasn't travelled.
Yeah.
So
I think Maddison has travelled, hasn't he?
Has Maddison travelled?
I thought he did.
I haven't seen him.
Maddison's travelled. Maddison's travelled.
Yeah,
Kudos didn't travel.
So we desperately need to sort this out. We desperately need to get some goals.
Can I ask
And the longer
nobody is taking into account how De Zerbi is going to play football this season. We are comparing Savinio, who had a good season at Girona on one side of the pitch, to putting him on the other side of the pitch. We are and we are looking at players. Well, they weren't great at other clubs. Well, if you've got a manager who plays a certain way, which is high press, intense, front foot football, playing between the lines, fast movements, and he's coming after certain players. If he gets those players, he obviously thinks that they can play the way he wants them to play. So for me, I'm looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to it. And you know, am I over the moon with Savinio? I probably would have preferred Leao, but that's not happening. Leao can be explosive. He can also go missing for 10 games at a time. So how many wingers are you going to get where in world football? You've got to remember, we are coming from 17th position. No Europe this season, 17th twice. And everyone's expecting us, what do we say? I saw a comment before, go and get Barcola. Really? Like Barcola's going to come to Spurs? I mean, come on, guys. You know, let's be realistic, and let's have realistic expectations on the level of player we're going to buy.
It's like you're asking for Barcola to come in when we got no European Cup football.
Exactly, nothing.
I know.
Which is why, if De Zerbi can get Spurs into a European place this season, then again at the end of one season, I'm playing De Zerbi ball. He will know which players can play it and which players can't, and there will be another big turnover of players next season. Once he's had a chance to look at everybody, and he knows who can play his style and who can't. So that's why he's got to be careful. He's got to buy the players that he wants. And if he doesn't get them in this window, if they don't become available, or a club says, no, you're not offering enough, or we're going to keep the player, or a bigger club comes in and buys that player, then as a fan base, we've all got to be patient, because we are coming from 17th place. We avoided the championship by one match, and we could have been playing Burnley in 3 weeks' time at the Lane in the opening game of the championship, and instead of West Ham. So I think everybody's just got to calm down a bit. I mean, people are like talking on the channel like we're bloody Real Madrid. It's like, what? Come on, we've got 6. They're working hard to get the other 2. They've cleared 6 out. They brought in £100 million already on a lot of players that we didn't expect would be leaving. Apart from Dragusin, no one expected Vuskovic to go. So for me, I think everyone's just got to relax a little bit. He knows what he's doing. He will bring in the right players, I'm sure.
Sorry, Lubo. I'm sorry, mate. You could get on mute. We've got to relax. We finished 17th last season. How can you say those two things at the same time? How can you go, look, oh, no, nobody worry about anything because we finished 17th last season. So, I don't know. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Do you think we're gonna bring in the players? Hang on. Right, no. I tell you the impression. I tell you the impression you're giving me. The impression you're giving me is you think we should buy the right players to mount a Premiership challenge. Sorry, mate, you're on another planet.
No one can hear anything.
You don't talk over me, mate. Nobody talks over me, right?
No
I put on mute so that I don't interrupt people, and I won't take it from you. You got me?
Yeah, stop talking since she came on.
What? Benji's told me I'm muted, for Christ's sake.
Anyway,
Look, dude, we finished 17th twice. We currently have one left winger in Pell. We have no fit right wingers, and our 2 forwards are Solanke and Richarlison. There is a problem there. It absolutely needs to be fixed, and it absolutely needs to be fixed ASAP. And you know what? In 6 months' time, you will be the first person, when it doesn't work out, if we don't get anybody else, you'll be the first person to say, De Zerbi wasn't given the players that he needed to do what he needed to do. So why don't we start there now and say De Zerbi needs the players to actually deliver on the pitch. It doesn't matter how we play, and yeah, I am looking forward to more attacking and free-flowing style. But he still needs the players to do it.
He
And
does
you
need
don't
the
think they're
players to do
trying?
it.
You seriously don't think they're trying to get these players over the line? You think they're just messing about? Oh, let's have a laugh. Let's go into the new season with Solanke, Richie and Tell. Is that what you seriously think? Amazing.
I don't care if they're trying or not. What I want is for people through the door and people out the door. I don't care. Oh, do you know what? Let's give them a "you're trying" medal. No. I want to see results. I want to see people leaving, and I want to see people coming.
Rain, would you have took Solis at Spurs?
Who?
The guy signed for Arsenal.
Sorry, who?
Is it Solis?
I don't know who you're talking about.
The Greek fella, he got like 40 J or something.
Oh, yeah. Looks excellent. Come from Belgium.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love the Belgian league. You get so many. There's this. There seems to be this thing between the Belgian league. Players coming from the Belgian league into the Premier League, they seem, for some reason, to just fit. I'm sorry, but some other players who don't seem to fit is Spanish players who come from Spain. You get a lot of players who come from Spain, and it's a much lower hit ratio than you get from players like who come from the Belgian league. Same as the French league.
The reason why the Belgium league is so up there with the comparisons to the Premier League, Rain, is because it's very similar. The structure, the clubs, the training facilities in Belgium, as some the league itself is in top 10 football. So you got to put that into like where it used to be the Belgium league. It was like 30th. Their government has done a whole turnaround on their league, and it's showing the fruits of the labor of the World Cup teams that they've been able to put out over the last 20 years. Most clubs send their team or their players that can't get work permits to Belgium because it's the quickest way for them to get their work permits. Brighton do it like that. McAllister, when he first come to Brighton, couldn't get a work permit to get into the country. Brighton went, all right, we've signed you, but you're going to go get your work permit in Belgium. A year later, he's playing for Brighton. Most of what Brighton do with some of these players that can't get work permit because they are linked with one, I can't remember which club it is over in Belgium that they're linked with, because I think Tony Bloom's got a controlling asset to that team. So any player that you can't get a work permit for, and guys, you're going to go there for the season, you're going to get your work permit, then you're going to come and play for us. So what Bloom does with Brighton with the Belgium league and those players that go there is fantastic. And that league is it's phenomenal to watch. It really is. There are so many talented players out in Belgium. And then when I get people telling me I probably never watch the Scottish league, what's the point of watching Celtic and Rangers battering everyone 6-0 every week? It's boring.
I'll be brutally honest, I didn't know all that. I just had this thing where I've just seen players come from the Belgian league, and they just seem to like Thiago. Thiago was fantastic. And
and Solis was only 35 million as well.
Yeah, the Belgian Pro League is actually an incredible watch next to the German league, next to the Italian league. I mean, I won't watch France because it's just tin pot. If you ask me, the French league bores me. Even though there are some fantastic players in France, it bores me. If anybody wants entertaining football, definitely watch it. I mean, I've been saying for ages, go out and sign the cat. He's 17. The cat, go get him. And he's off to Germany. He's now gone off. I think it was Leverkusen or someone got him or something like that. One of the German teams. That kid in the next 4 years will either be playing at Madrid or in the Premier League. He's that good.
You talk about Belgian players. that Spurs have had, we haven't done too badly, have we? Toby,
Oh, no.
Yang, Dembele, Chadley, Nico Klassen. I think the only one that came and didn't
I
really
miss
make it.
Chadley.
The only one who didn't make it was Jonathan Blondell. There you
You
go.
think Chadley made it?
Chadley was okay. It was one of those. I wouldn't call him a flop by any stretch.
Good utility player.
Yeah, he was. He was a squad player, wasn't he?
I can't believe
guys.
sorry.
Go on, mate. You're all right, okay. Go on.
This Zollis has completely skipped past me, and he's only cost them 35 mil.
Yeah.
That is just outrageous. See,
Yep.
there's deals out there.
Dave, Spurs syndrome, Dave. Yeah, he's been banging on about this fella for the last year, and then all of a sudden he's just gone bang. Whatever it costs, 35, 40 million to Arsenal, just like that, done. Do you know what I mean? It was done within. They reported it, and it was done within 3 or 4 days.
I
When it
mean,
was
looking
reported.
at Nathan De Cat as well, the German team have picked him up for 17.5 million. What a player.
There you go, mate. It's look, there is value out there. What do people think of the argument, as if to say, over the last however many 2, 3, 4 years of bringing in younger players? Was it the fact of finishing 17th and it didn't work that has sort of made them go totally the other way now, or like it seems that they're signing Premier League proven players at the moment and seem to have come off of the buying the young player train? What are everyone's views on that? Is that to the detriment of Tottenham in the end because youngsters won't come through, or is it just a sad case of reality that we've got to go and buy what we need now to do what we need now?
If you read all the quotes that De Zerbi's been making over the last few weeks regarding kids, he's basically said, if they're good enough, they're old enough.
Yeah.
Now, he came out and he said he's got to improve the academy. He's got to start getting players in from the academy. There's got to, he wants to create a pathway, providing the players are good enough, which means the scouting's got to be better. They've got to bring in better players. Let's see what happens. He's going down the experience route. You look at the players that he's brought in. They're all prem proven. They're all experienced, and that's what the team was. That's what the team was lacking. I don't think it had anything to do with the kids. What you had Lloris, you had Dyer, you had Kane, you had Højbjerg, who were all leaders in the dressing room, all experienced senior pros, and they all went, and nobody was replaced. So you had no leaders, no real captains. Sonny wasn't a captain. Ange brought Sonny in as captain purely because he was the link between all the different factions in the dressing room. So, and everybody loved Sonny, and that's why that was the reason Ange gave for having Son as captain. Last year, Romero, that was poor, wasn't it? It was a poor decision by Frank. Probably got it because he's a World Cup winner. No other reason. He's not the sort of player that you would probably turn to. For me, he was the wrong captain. Probably it was a shame he was a lone player, but I would have thought Paolini probably would have been a much better captain than Romero last season. And they're going down the path at the moment. They've got to go down the path of Prem proven. They can't keep going down this path because there are deals out on the continent, and we haven't got the scouting network, or haven't had the scouting network to bring those players in. And we talk about Solis, so I thought, for me, beginning of the season, people said, who would you like to see as a winger? For me, Solis was one of those that I mentioned. But Arsenal come in, and if he had a choice of us or Arsenal, he's obviously going to go there at the moment. So for me, he's doing the right thing. And in terms of changing things, in terms of future transfer windows, Chris Ramsey's been brought in now to oversee recruitments, which is going to be a massive help because Lang just wasn't up to the job. The only players Lane brought in were kids. That was it. So for me, and unfortunately, then I took his word, Lane's word, in front of Paritici, which is why Paritici went. It was a complete mess down there. Well, they seem to be sorting out. And yes, and right, Andy Lester. Yes, I love Romero, but from what I've been hearing about the bad influence he had in the dressing room last season, for that reason I want him to go. And I'm not ENIC too in, but I am encouraged by the way ENIC are performing this summer. So I think we're all happy. You know, we've gone in under Levy. We would never have gone for Tonali. Would never have gone for Fernandez. Not a hope. Not a chance. Levy was more interested in profit for the club, and the less money that he spent on the football side, the more profit showed on the balance sheet, and the more the club was worth in the event of a takeover. So for me, you know, there have been massive strides forwards. Will they keep it going next season, next January, next summer? Let's see. But at the moment, we can't complain at this window. And as I said, there's 5 weeks to go. Get two forwards in, and I think everybody will be happy, and everyone will be like chomping at the bit. You know, everyone would think it's a really good transfer window, and look forward to the season. So,
Lou, but can I caveat that, because I do concur with what you're saying. I do. But there's one thing that wasn't said, right? For me, I mean, at this point, excuse the language, but fuck the youth players. Look, bringing them in, like Lubo said, it wasn't the problem. It's the way we utilised them that was the problem. Name me another Premier League club that fields 5 19-year-olds and younger. It does not happen. For me, like, what are we doing here, Spurs? You can't run things like that. You can't put that amount of pressure on a group of children. You can't bring in sort of 4 or 5 per game and go win me some games. It's not going to work like that. You know, you need to drip feed these players into a stable team. So from this point onwards, as far as I'm concerned, and it is funny because with Tottenham, there is a bit of a pattern. It used to be over the hill players, and then it turned into youth. It's never been that. But since when have Spurs ever really gone out and brought players that are in form? Oh, those players that other clubs want. We don't do that. So this transfer window has been a breath of fresh air. But like Lubo said, it's not buying the kids is the problem. I just think it's the way they've been utilised.
I mean, a caveat on that, but there's a... Hang on, someone needs to mute. There we go. I'll caveat on something like that. With one of the players I really like out in Belgium that's still in the league. I mean, the cat's off the Hoffenheim. Thanks for correcting me. I knew he was off to somewhere in Germany, but I'm going to butcher his name now. Is it Constantarius Crostius? I can't pronounce his name properly, but he's 18 years old and he's an incredible winger. So he's valued at around 35 million. Why not? I mean, you guys have probably never heard of him, but he's electric. He's a really good young player. But then again, I can't keep going down that young player wing. So,
is there anyone in particular, any of the panel would like? I know we've had all the names and all the rumours, and if there was, like Ian said, he thinks there might be 2, possibly 3 coming in. Personally, I get the bit about the window and you can only do so much and we've got to sell it and whatever. I get all that. But Ian, I don't think 2's enough. I don't think it's enough, mate. I think we only need 2 or 3 injuries. We're back to where we was again.
Yeah,
that's what bothers me. And don't get me wrong, I get the bit about you can only do so much, but there's still 4 weeks to go. In the last 2 weeks, it's all gone quiet over there, as they say. And that's what bothers me, Ian, more than anything. And the further we go, the harder it's going to be to find the players that we need. Then we're going to get held to ransom a bit more. That means they haven't played together as much as probably what De Zerbi would have liked because they've come in so late. Ian, I don't know. I mean, obviously, the good thing would be is if they could have got them all in by a Chelsea game at the weekend.
You're going to get Cookie. You're going to get clubs will not let us sign players because they can't get replacements. The longer it goes on, and the closer we get to forget the end of the window, the start of the Premier League, the less likely that things are going to happen. It's fact. Yeah, we need to do business now. We need to get them in the door. Let other clubs do what they want to do. We need to stop messing about and letting Man City have us on a bit of rope. And we need to just go and get some players in. And you know what? If they're not A grade players, if they're the B grade players, you know what? That's what we need to get.
I'm
Can I
going to
answer that?
put this.
Can I
I'm going to hang
answer
on
Ray?
2 seconds, Levo. I play Football Manager, but I watch a lot of football. I watch different leagues, and for me to say a player like Krastias is a very good young player, I rate him, but will he come to the Premier League and take to it? I don't know. But in Belgium, the kid is electric. To say that, oh yeah, you getting his name from Football Manager. I haven't played the game in over 6 weeks. I don't go and look at the Wonder Kid list that everybody does. I actually watch football to a point that my ex couldn't stand me watching fucking football and would go to her mum's because I was watching too much football. Just saying.
Does anybody have a suspicion we're going to get Alex Scott before the end of the window?
I doubt it. I think regarding Savinho, the clubs came to an impasse over the transfer fee. Spurs then switched to other targets. They looked at Leal, they looked at Somerville, they looked at Gakpo. They are looking at other people. They're not hanging around on a string waiting for Man City. Now, Savinho wants Spurs. Last year, Savinho wanted Spurs. Pep asked him to put in a transfer request and he refused to do it. And the whole thing came to a shuddering halt at that point. This year, he has actually, so Romano says today, put in a transfer request. So let's see if things move along. We'll see.
Good question here by the Sniper's Dream. I believe it is anyway, and perhaps we'll get some answers from it. If the kids are not battle ready, then what can be done to get the kids battle ready?
Loans.
Championships.
Well, it's either a loan or it's having them with inside a stable team, and in order to do that, we need to put that together first. And we are in the process of building that stable team. But like I said a minute ago, you got to drip feed these kids. You know, if you're not going to send them out on loan, you got to drip feed them. You got to surround them with quality players that will show them how to do it. You know, inspire them almost. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's one of the two, right? It's either a loan or it's drip feeding them.
I've always said as well, if by the time you've hit 21, 22 and you haven't really made that stake into the first team, the club should let you go by then and try and sell you on. We've held on to players for too long and then had no value at the end of it. I mean, the prime example, Dorrington was off to, Poland? No, I want to stay in England. Fuck off already. You know, just go, please. Like, just go. We need the money. Thanks. Get you off the books. I just look at like football in a whole as well as like every club kind of tries to stick to that. The better young players go out on loan and go to proper leagues. You don't lend or loan out players like Mikey Moore to Scotland because it's a very easy crap league for a player to play in like Mikey Moore. There's no real challenge there unless you're playing against Celtic and Rangers every weekend. Maybe the odd Hibs and Dunfermline match might interest you, but you know, come on. There's a reason why it's ranked 38th in world football, that league. It's just toilet. When the Cypriot League is 36th in world football and the Saudi Pro League sits in the top 20, and people tell me I probably don't watch the Scottish League. It doesn't interest me because it's boring.
it's shocking, isn't it? Really, when you think of what Scottish football used to be. I know,
Oh
I
yeah.
know, I know. You know, football's become more technical, but you know, Scottish football used to be right up there. They used to produce some amazing players, some amazingly technical and talented players, and they're,
Well,
and they've disappeared.
well, some good players would end up going to Scotland, like Henrik Larsson. You know, then he come to the Premier League.
He
The turnover
was
last
some player.
season, the turnover last season in Scotland. I was at a party Sunday afternoon, and I was with a Hearts fan, and he showed me the turnover. Celtic's turnover 143 million. Remember they had Champions League. Rangers 84, Hearts 24, and it carried on going down from 24, and that's the Premier League. There's no money in there. That's the problem. There's no money, so you don't get the players. Mikey Moore went up there to toughen him up. It's a tough league, you know. 18-year-old kids going up into Scotland. You know they're gonna hammer him. He's, you know, it was a good experience for him. He won Young Player of the Year. I think that was a positive loan for him. What's the next step? Go out on loan maybe. For me, I'd like to see him at a Coventry or a Hull or an Ipswich this season. For me, that's a good loan for Mikey Moore. One of those clubs.
Ian, I'd like to say, and you'll remember, I think the pathway through now is very difficult for young players. But if you remember, mute everyone, please. If you remember back in the day, Ian, the football combination, and we've spoke about it on quite a few occasions. Me and Sava, me and you, lots of people, we've spoke about it, and I think it was the worst thing they ever done, Ian, taking the football combination away, because that was when the youngsters had the chance to play against men that were coming back from injury or were dropped by their team or whatever it was. You'd always have 4 or 5 or 6 seniors on the pitch as well as the younger players, and I thought personally that was a great way for them to come through then, but it's not there now, is it, Ian? And it's like you say, it's a loan, or they bite the bullet where they are.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. You never had the amount of loan. I mean, we've had, what have we had? We've probably had about 25, 28 players out on loan in the last 2 years. You never had 28 players out on loan in 10 years ago when the football combination was going, and it was. You're right. That was for the senior pros that couldn't get in the first team. That was for players that were coming back from injury. That was also for players who were coming up through the ranks, and the club wanted to take them out. You know, they come out. They were kids. They come out of the South East Counties League and they go straight into the football combination, and that was the pathway through. Now it's much harder. Football's global. You know, the clubs are bringing in kids into the academy from other countries now. It's not just Spurs picking them up from Chingford or Harlow like they did with Hoddle or Ealing with Perryman. It's a different world now. So and I feel sorry for the kids because they do have less opportunity. And the problem, as a few of us have all said on YouTube shows, is that as far as Spurs are concerned, it's funny, the most successful managers in the Premier League, probably, I'm talking about overall, not just talking about trophies, have been, for me, Pochettino and Harry Redknapp, who had 5 years and 4.5 years respectively. Apart from them, managers get an average of 15, 18 months at Spurs. So they're not interested. They have no time to bring these kids through. Whereas if De Zerbi now is given the time, and you look at the most successful managers in the Premier League just over the last few years. Wenger, look at the years. I mean, just go back from the 90s. Ferguson, Wenger, Klopp, Mourinho, obviously Guardiola. They all had time. They all got time. They all had a specific amount of time. Not so much Mourinho at Chelsea, but he seemed to get. He was a very quick. He was into his stride and winning trophies very fast. He didn't need the years that Klopp needed, for argument's sake. But these managers don't get any time to build, so the kids are just sort of collateral damage basically. They just don't get a chance, and the only reason why Gray and Bergvall have played 158 games between them in the last two years is because of injury. So
Yeah, fair play, Ian. Fair play.
I'm sorry, Ian. I'm sorry, Lubo. Correlation does not equal. Yeah, Lubo, can you mute again? Top. Correlation does not equal causation, right? It's so Ferguson was not playing youngsters when he started. Absolutely was not. And the same with most of those managers. The only one who maybe was Wenger, because he went and just harvested players from Clairefontaine, harvested the absolutely top French players, including Anelka for 250k, who they then sold on for what stupid money. And it's no surprise that successful managers spend more time in the job. That's it's you can't say that they spend more time in the job and therefore they pay the kids. They have to be successful to stay in the job. That's the way it is.
I was talking about the amount of time Spurs managers get, and linking it with the amount of kids that come through, because we've hardly had any kids through, and from the academy in the last few years, have we? In the 80s, you look at who we had got coming through in the 80s that were doing well. You had Samways, you had David Howes, you had Mickey Hazard, you had Paul Miller, you had Glenn Hoddle, you had Steve Perryman. There's 6. I mean, I'm sure I've missed 1 or 2 others as well. Who have we had since then?
Chris Hughton.
Yes, Chris Hughton, correct. Another one, 7. That was the one I was trying to think of. Well done, Corey. I don't think we've had 7 since then, have we? Properly? Seven major players have really played.
Harry Redknapp and Maurizio Pochettino earned the. Can you go back on the earned? Seriously, just double check that you haven't got other windows open, because that's what it's going to be. It's like a radio echo. If you've got other windows open, if you've got other somewhere you've got YouTube running in the background, which is why we don't hear it when you speak. We hear it when others speak, because it's just cycling through. They earned the right to have longer in the job, and yes, they played youngsters after earning the right to spend longer in the job. That's the the reality of the you can call out some youngsters that they played. Maybe you can call out the fact that Pochettino played Harry Kane, but he was special. Yeah, and certainly helped save Pochettino and his job. But I don't. I mean, you're right. The managers who stay longer generally have more of an investment in playing in playing academy players, but they have to earn the right to stay in the job first.
I don't disagree with you on that, Ray. What I'm saying is that because the managers have got no time, as a manager of Spurs, they don't really, Conte didn't, Mourinho didn't. Mourinho did to an extent. Mourinho brought through Tanganga, didn't he, and 1 or 2 others. But generally, managers who don't get that much time will take least risks in terms of the personnel that they're picking and the personnel that they're buying. If you have a project and the manager starts building through, and the club allow him to build, Conte wasn't allowed. Conte wasn't backed. Mourinho wasn't backed. Both of them were shafted after 18 months.
Lubo, can I just ask, mate? What's your point?
My point is, we were talking about the kids and why we haven't had success with kids coming through. We were talking about the football combination, which gave kids a much better chance and gave them a better education. And the point I'm making is that for many years, our managers haven't been given a chance to actually get together. They haven't been backed and they haven't been given an opportunity to build a successful team because ENIC up to now haven't wanted it.
No, I think you're crossing two things over
I
like
think they're
this.
linked. I'm linking.
I think you're crossing two things over. Can you just mute for a second? The fact is they haven't stayed in a job because they haven't had the right players, right? The fact that we bought youngsters who didn't have as low a risk profile as needed, right? Who had a very high risk profile. They were going to give you, coming back to my Tell and Savino example, they were going to give you a 5 or a 20 GA throughout the year. And unfortunately, if you get enough of them, like Benji says, if you throw 5 of them in, then do you know what? They're all going to give you 5 GA. They're all going to be, 4 or 5 out of 10 players because they're playing with other young players and they haven't got the leadership to drive them through. It's the harsh reality of life, not just football, of life. If you've got 20 people on a site and 15 of them are 18-year-olds, do you know what? That house is not going to be to the quality that you want it to be because they're going to fuck about.
Yeah, it'll be in the shape of a dick. That's the problem. That's the problem.
So that's the problem. The problem is that we have not hired the right type of experience and the right type of quality. The fact that managers then haven't been in the job long enough to bring through youngsters, we don't know. We don't know that. We don't. Skip got plenty of game time. Yeah. Was he good enough? No. Was he good enough to be a squaddy? Yeah. Was he good enough to get us 20 million? Fantastic. Do you know what I mean? We need more. Great that we got 20 million for Lancashire. Absolutely fantastic. Why can we not get 5 to 10 million for Scarlet? I'm waiting for people to say to me that we're going to start the season with Dane Scarlett as one of our players up top. I'm just going to despair because the only reason he's at our club is because nobody wants to buy him.
Do you know what, right? I am just sick and tired of projects at Spurs. That's what I'm tired of. For once, Spurs, can we just go and buy good quality players and leave it down to the manager? And if the manager fails with good quality, you know what I'm saying? With good quality players, we can bid him off. It's the Chelsea sort of schematic, isn't it, really? Buying the players, which is something that needs to be done at Spurs. Because right now, we haven't, until sort of Tonali showed up, and maybe as a case of Fernandes, we've not had sort of that it player. We've not had a special player at the club since, Son stayed 3 years too long, probably, didn't he? But since Son. So for me, I would sort of take up the Chelsea schematic. I would bring in the good quality players like we're doing, and it's been appreciated by all, and leave it down to the manager. And if it goes wrong, it's on his head. You know what I mean? I'm sick of these projects. Sick.
It hasn't passed by Chelsea fans that this project that they've now been on has ended up with them.
Yeah. So when I say that, I should have said I meant previous Chelsea, not necessarily now. Yeah, you are right. You are.
So that's
not great.
We've proved it again, and it has been proven again and again and again. And if you don't learn from history, you're destined to repeat it. If you want to be a project club, then you'll end up a bottom of the half table club. That's where you'll end up. That's where Brighton will be there. It might take 2 or 3 or 4 years. They will be there unless they change their model.
Which is why De Zerbi, in the first place, wanted to leave them because he wanted to change their model to buy better, and they didn't want to do that. And that's why he bought Brighton.
Evening, Danny, by the way. Evening, mate.
Good evening.
Evening to Danny, evening to Steve as well, who's joined us. I know we're going over the same
But
thing, but what are your two guys' feelings on it as far as where we've got to now and what you expect to happen? What could happen in reality, if you like? I mean, what are you expecting Tottenham to do now, considering
I'm
all the announcements have been made and all that stuff? We've got the money, we've got this, we've got that. We know what we can spend. What do you expect, you two guys, whoever wants to go first, out
for
of the rest of the transfer window?
well for me. Whoever can you mute a mic, guys? It's really bad echo. I don't know. Can you still hear it? Oh no, it's gone now. Yeah, for me, I agree with what some of you guys have been saying tonight. Um, I, I kind of like where Benji is at the moment. I couldn't care less about the youth academy anymore. Like, at this moment in time, I genuinely don't care. I really don't. If what I like what we're doing is we're actually selling players when they've either never played for Spurs or they're at value where we can actually get some value to actually sell them and reinvest that money into the first team, which is what, if I'm not mistaken, a massive percentage of the Spurs fan base have been calling for so many years, right? Is that we don't buy quality. Well, now we're starting to buy quality, and it's like people are moaning that we're selling the youngsters. So it's like, well, you can't have everything, right? Chelsea have never been a club to Chelsea have never been a club to bring through youngsters, but Chelsea are one of the biggest clubs on the planet who've won more trophies in the last 20 years than anyone else, right? So I would rather have that than worrying about Jamie Donnelly coming through or worrying about the next Lancashire or whoever it is. I couldn't care less. I genuinely couldn't care less about the youngsters. If we're not good, if they're not, like De Zerbi says, and I've always been the same advocate, if they are not good enough, regardless of their age, I do not care. I am for the now. I'm not
Bang
for
on.
five. I'm not for 5 years later. I'm not here for, oh, Bergval could be the next best thing in 3 years' time. In 3 years' time, our whole squad's going to be changed. Van de Ven probably be gone. Senesi will probably be gone. Robertson will be too old, so it's going to change. So I don't give a crap about what's going to happen in a few years' time. I care about what we can do in the present moment because time goes fast, right? And I don't want to keep going through the years without having to witness Spurs not try challenge or win a title or win a Champions League or something like this. That's what I want to see my club do. So long may it continue keep buying better quality. With Savio, for example, I think Savio is everything you're looking for, apart from the fact that he hasn't got the output or hasn't proved it enough yet, right? And that, to me, in my opinion, is down to the detriment of the way Pep Guardiola sets up the team. Not everyone can fit and suit a Pep team, especially when you're having to compete in a squad full of world-class talents, right? So I'm not surprised that Savio didn't really get enough of a chance, especially in the position that he should be playing, which is the left wing, which he didn't really get a chance to play there. And then in January, they went and buy Semenyo. So it's like you're asking the guy to compete with the best things in the Premier League, the best winger in the Premier League right now, right? So it's like you're asking for it's a losing battle. Unless you're better than Semenyo, you're not getting in that team, right? So
DK, do you not think
Yeah.
there's a difference between buying youth and buying youth? So what I mean by that is when you go and buy a young player, you want to see a young player that has already shown his capability. Whereas with your Bergvals, your Greys, your Tells, none of them had a breakout season. None of them had done anything of major notoriety. But whereas someone like a Savinho, this is why I think he's so much different to Tell. Because he's done it.
I do as well. I do as well, Benji, because I also look at the ability that he's got on the ball, his actual football intelligence, right? He's probably one of the best 1v1 wingers around, right, in the league, in terms of he beats his man more often than not, right? Yes, he might not get enough goals, but I think that that also comes from a player that hasn't got enough confidence to really show what he's capable of because he hasn't had that consistency, right? It's the same thing in any walk of life. If you don't practice and you don't keep practicing, you're not as good, right? The more you practice, the better you get, the more confident you get, whatever it is you do. It's the same in football, right?
The quote, the
When
quote
you're when
is
you're
the quote is the more I practice, the luckier I get. That's the quote. The Gary,
yeah, that's a
the
good way
Gary
to put
Player
it.
quote, and he was joking. It was like lucky. It's not luck. It's
No,
it's like a
it's
metronome.
yeah, no, I agree, Rain, and I think that I know that Savio is not the hasn't proven it, but let's be honest, every single player that comes in and goes out the club, we don't know whether it's going to be a good decision or bad decision, which is why hindsight's a beautiful thing. Because right now we don't know. Tonali and Fernandez could come in here and be absolute flops, right? And then we're going to be sitting here saying, "Oh, we can't sit here and say, oh, we shouldn't have signed them." I'll give you an example. Bissouma, when he was being touted to come to the club, I'd been banging on about Bissouma for years before that, and he came, and I was so excited, and I think a lot of Spurs fans were so excited when he came to the club, and he flat to deceive. Another one that didn't really make it or didn't live or fulfill to his potential, right? So we just don't know, right? Matias Fernandez is an example of a player who's very young, but you can clearly see he is levels and levels and levels above the Bergvals, the Sars, the Greys, just because of his ability, his technical ability.
His
Looks like
performances.
his well, yeah, not just that. It's not just his performances, but he looks like a man. He looks like he's years ahead of his age, right? Whereas Bergval, Gray, and Saar, they look like younger than what the actual age they actually are, right? And they've been around a lot longer than he has. So that shows the level of quality that you're really looking for if you're going to bring in young players. And for me, Savio, I think if you're looking at, you just have to look at. Lubo made a point about it earlier on. None of us know the style, the way that De Zerbi wants to play, the way he wants to set up. But what I can see and what I'm assuming is that he's every single player that we're targeting, right, has specific characteristics, right? They're hard workers. They're really good on the ball. They're very good passers on the ball. They're good dribblers. They're technical players, right? They work horses. They don't stop running. So if you look at all those kind of characteristics, and also you see how he played with his Brighton team before, to me, I think Savio is the exact type of player that he'd love, because if De Zerbi can mold someone like Savio and Kudus into the type of wingers that he likes, right? I think we're going to have two very, very, very efficient wingers next season. And
Just
the big thing is obviously the striking department is something we have to sort out, because to me, Solanke is going to be the man. And I do think if Solanke stays fit, I think he can do a lot better than what he's seen at Tottenham over the last 2 years with him, right? I'm not saying that I want to keep him. For anyone who's going to start moaning about it, I think they both need to go. But realistically, only one of them is going to go. And if any one of them goes, it's going to be Richarlison. So I think Solanke can be utilized a lot more as long as he stays fit. And I think that with the players around him and the way that we're going to play, just bear in mind that in the last 7 games, Tottenham were the team that faced the least amount of shots against us on goal, and we created the most chances, right? Which goes to show how different De Zerbi's football is. And that was with the players that we had then, let alone the players that we have now. So if you're adding all of those elements into it, creating the most chances, the players that we've got now, the defenders that the way that they can play out from the back, the goalkeeper that can play out from the back, the type of wingers, the direct wingers that we've got, and if we get Savio, the last bit of the jigsaw puzzle at this moment in terms of going from 17th for challenging for a top 7 spot is a striker. But I think we will need to get someone in that position, or like a versatile forward type, right, who can play there, in order for us to have a really good season.
Danny,
Yeah.
I just want to ask you one thing,
Mhm.
right? Savinho. Yeah. Can you be honest? Can you be honest and accept and confirm that it is a calculated risk and it's a risk that you're saying you're happy for the club to take?
Yeah.
Because I think that's
Yeah.
fair. The only problem that I've got is people going, "Oh, he's a baller. He's going to do this. He's going to do that," and they're just refusing to accept that actually it's. And obviously, there's always risk, right?
There's a risk. Yeah, of
You know,
course.
Brentford signed Igor Thiago, and he got injured, and he didn't play for a season. Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's always a risk in football.
Of course.
But
I think I've always liked Savio. I remember when I first saw him, when I was like, "Who's this kid?" And he was playing on the right, and the way that he was beating players and how he was on the ball, he was so silky, right? And I just think he just needs to be given a run of games in a team and in a manager that actually utilizes his actual abilities and characteristics, right? And a team that actually suits him, which I think a De Zerbi team with those players around him will suit him. I think that we will see a better version of Savinho. But again, of course, any player that we bring in is a risk.
Sorry, can I just say, Jimmy Hotspur, real quickly. Savinho's not had 2 poor seasons. Savinho's first season at City, he had 10 assists and 1 goal. Does anyone else deem that as a bad season for someone who's just came into a league?
No.
The hardest league in the world,
And
I
he
might
was
add.
21, I think, at that age.
Let's add to that as well. His first season at City, he was second behind ball progression behind Doku.
Yeah.
Second behind progressive passes behind David Silva.
Yeah.
Not a failed season, is it?
And they were playing week in, week out, bar none.
Yep. And he was also playing on the left wing before Doku showed up. So
100%. 100%. And also, again, you've got to say, and I know we've said this already, the guy was played in the wrong position. He doesn't traditionally play on the right. I mean, shit, this season gone, they were using him as centre mid in a few games. Like, explain that to me. So, I don't know. For me, I don't understand what people don't see with Savinho. I really don't. Like, Rain, listen, you make a strong argument. You know, I understand GA is a big thing, fine. But for people who actually watch him, how you could say, I don't see as big of a risk as everyone else seems to see, because we've seen he's capable. And if you can see a player's capable, if he's done it previously, do you know what? Right? And I don't mean to get sentimental here. I look at Savinho now, and I think, you know what? Put this boy in a Spurs team, give the guy some love, right? Because there's been plenty of players in the past that just need the right manager, a bit of love to follow. You can laugh, but it's a serious thing. We've seen it with players, right? If you give them the love, you make them feel part of the team, which you clearly don't at Manchester City, clearly don't, then you'll get the best out of them. And we've seen he's capable of doing it. So for me, I'm with Danny. I think it's worth taking a risk because the guy is mustard. And if you've not watched him regularly, then
I was going to say, Benji, sorry to interrupt you, mate. I was going to say that I think in terms of a 1v1 player and in terms of his ability on the ball, crossing the ball, I think he's very good. And I think he's at an age where you've got a really good coach in De Zerbi, and playing that style of football, I think will suit him a lot more than the City style, because the City style is very rigid in how they are tactically.
Dan, who's that English winger that went to Everton?
Jack Grealish.
I mean, perfect example, right? Perfect example. Give the guy freedom again, and he blew up. He was outstanding at Everton until he got injured. It's a great example.
No, it's true. There's many examples of players that fit certain systems and stuff like that. But I think that in order for us to keep progressing as a football club, you have to keep adding quality. And he is a very good player, who of course has the potential to be even better. And I get what people are worried about, but with his output and stuff like that. But for me, I think I trust if De Zerbi wants that player, I trust that he's going to get more out of these players than we've seen before. Just like when a lot of players who've come into Spurs before, like for example, Dimitar Berbatov. How many people knew who Dimitar Berbatov was before he came to Spurs? or Son. No one knew what Son was like, even in his first season. I know he scored some goals, but he nearly left the football club. So there's so many examples of players that can come in and all of a sudden they completely change. And he's still very young. He's 22 years old. So or 22, 23 now, is it? I think he's very young.
So I do just have to answer that. You know, Salah was written off after Chelsea. Yeah, but Salah then went to Roma, had 2 amazing seasons at Roma. Yeah, and then came back.
No, he went to Fiorentina. He went to Fiorentina, I think.
No, it was Roma, mate.
I thought it was Basel, actually. I thought it was Basel in Switzerland. He went to Switzerland, didn't he?
No, he came from Basel to Chelsea.
And it was, and Danny, it was that comment by John that Rain picked up on. Not only Salah, De Bruyne as well. He was at Chelsea as well. Didn't make it at Chelsea.
Yeah, but then they went somewhere else and they achieved, and
right.
then changed. It's not like Man City and Liverpool took a risk. What they did was,
by the way, Ray, he did go to Fiorentina for a year.
Okay, but he had 2 great seasons at Roma, right? And that's when they bought him. Lubo.
That's fine, but you know what? If you're
No,
buying someone,
no,
that's fine. No, Rain, that's fine, and it worked out. It worked out, didn't it? It doesn't always work out. You know, when you bring someone in from a league outside the Premier League, it doesn't always work out. It worked out obviously with Salah, but it may not have done. It may not.
Right. So I wanted to come on, right, and I wanted someone to do some digging. What's this news on Fernandez? I saw something about Fernandez pop up about a knee
Well, people are
injury.
freaking out because he wasn't in the training video, but there's pictures have now come out to show that he was there. People are saying, yeah, it's some sort of knee injury, but I mean, I can't guarantee anything, but he was at that training session. There are pictures of it.
The word is that he had water on the knee, I think. I'm reading, someone sent me a thing, and listen, we'll see tomorrow whether he turns up or not.
Someone splashing with the water bottle.
Is Lubo, is that a serious thing? Water on the knee? Or no?
I don't know. It can, who knows?
Wouldn't it just be typical to spend 85 million on a player and he goes out with a knee injury? Break it up.
Lubo.
It's always a risk. It's always a risk. Whatever you pay for a player, he could get injured, the following week, couldn't he?
I've got here. It turns out he was in the THFC training video, but he didn't see him in any footage on the grass. Someone needs to. Well, yeah. He's basically saying he was there. There just wasn't footage being taken of him. So, and there are like multiple sources saying he was there. But yeah, like Lubo said, we'll see tomorrow, won't we? Really, right, guys. Just quickly, I'm gonna bounce. Cookie, thank you so much for having me on, mate. I've got to go and get some sleep. I've had a horrible night. You guys take care of yourselves, right? Pleasure as always.
Oh, your brother's all right, by the way, Benji. All right, I'll speak to you. Take care, man. Yeah, there you go.
Take care, brother.
Benji's off. Dan and Dave have joined us. Big up
Evening,
to you
guys.
two. Hope you're well.
Evening,
What we're having to
Evening.
do is, guys, when someone's talking, the rest are having to mute because we're still getting this feedback from somewhere. So just to let you know, to try and keep the echo down a little bit. Apologies to everyone. Still trying to work out what's going on. But yeah, there you go. Dan and Dave, I take it you've been listening to the show tonight, maybe a little bit, and got the gist of what we're talking about. Where are you two at? Whoever wants to go first with the, I don't know, the busyness of how it all went early doors. Then we got the 2 big signings, gone quiet a little bit, and now maybe it'll be you then, Dave. Oh no, Dan still is there. He's gone up there. The lack of a forward coming in at the moment, and what seems to be someone putting, there's loads of strikers, there probably is, but ones that could suit Spurs, if you like. And the Savio thing as well. Where are you with that? Because I'm a bit like these guys. I feel like we're getting our pants pulled down a bit now, or City are trying to do that when there's no one else bidding for him. you know what I mean? There are other clubs interested, but they haven't even gone to where Spurs are going for him, let alone what City want for him. So I don't know, guys. Where you sit with it at the moment? With, like Ian says, what how many games we got left? 4 more pre-season games, is it? Something like that, and then the season starts. So what is it? Best part of 5 weeks or something like that? The window left open, 6 weeks maybe.
3 weeks to the Premier League.
Yeah, 5 weeks of the window.
5 weeks to the window. But let's be clear. Let's be clear. Don't worry, the window hasn't closed. It's rubbish. Nobody in their right minds thinks it's okay to let major player acquisitions go on until the end of the window. Nobody can justify it. You need to get him in.
Response to that, Dan?
You need to get him in.
Yeah.
You need to get him pre-season. You need to get him training. You know?
Yeah, I agree, man. Totally agree. Dave, did you jump on first, mate? Who was it? Was it me or you, mate?
No, go on, you go first, Dan. You're good,
Yeah.
mate.
Well, first I've got to get our Levy rant out the way.
Well then, mate.
No, I don't. I was joking. I'm joking. Not tonight. Big up, chat. Look, guys. Look, can I just go around the room quickly? Yeah. Start off. Whoever wants to start off. Cookie, you can start off, mate. Yeah. Just give me a striker. Give me a left winger. Right now, off the top of your head, who you want coming in, and then I want to go around the room just quickly. I just want to see where people's heads at. I have been listening to the show, but I have been kind of in and out a bit because of the kids. So I just want to know, all of you, 2 names. Who's coming? Who do you want in to start the season for Spurs up front and on the left wing?
Savio and Marmouche.
Fair enough. Steve?
That's me. Anyone
Steve's
else?
at the top, right?
That's Corey.
Corey, sorry, Steve's gone.
He couldn't.
Oh,
Corey
me.
can't hear
Okay.
us. Oh, yes, he can.
Sorry,
Corey.
I was sorting something out with my mum. Yeah, I want Savinho, and I also want Krupi.
Okay.
Then I want Greedy. I want Gakpo as well.
Fair enough. Rain, what about you, buddy?
I would take, laugh at me all you want, I would take Sade, and I would love Marmouche.
Okay, good shout. Sane from Munich.
Brentford.
Sade from Brentford.
Oh, Sade. Sorry, Rain. Sade. Fair enough. Okay. Interesting. Danny?
You know he's love is king. Oh, Sade. See? No? Sorry about that. Sorry, I had to get that one in. Go on.
I'd probably go for the same as what Corey was saying. I think I want 3 in, and I want Groupie, Gakpo, and Savinho, and I don't see any reason why we can't do it.
Okay, yeah. Good shouts. Yeah. Okay. Ian?
Well, sorry. Hi, Dan. Firstly, Danny, Liverpool said they're not selling Gakpo, so that's that.
Yet.
Who would I like? Krupi and Liel. They're the 2.
Okay. Bit different. Yeah. And Dave?
Liao. Garassi.
Okay. So look, there's players, aren't there? There's all of
I mean,
these
also
players.
like Garassi, but if I go for those 3, there's not going to be no money for Garassi.
Yeah, look, there's players, isn't there? Look, just going around the room there, there's players in the chat, people as well. Tell me who you want. Top, left. I'm really coming round to the idea of Savinho now. Right? I've gone over it intensively, the left winger's performance last season across Europe and in Premier League. Left wingers, they're not scoring many goals unless you're going to for a top left winger, and they're not coming to Spurs, right? So I'm really struggling with it, left winger. I think all of you guys have come up with good names, right? I think any of them will be worth a punt. I think Savinho, you're going to have to take a little bit of a risk on him, but I just don't know who else. I think if we're going for Savinho, whoever we get up top, they have to be a certified goal scorer, right? Because you're not going to guarantee it from Savinho, but there's possibly he might do really well. So I think it's so important if we're doing that, then whoever comes at the top. Guirassy is obviously a guy who's got goals every season. It's pretty dead cert that one. He should come in and do a good job. But Gakpo, yeah, good player, scores goals, doesn't he? Assists. Who else do people say again? Liao, I'm not too sure about, but again, I would take the risk on him. He's definitely got talent. Krupi, yeah. If it's Krupi coming in, I think we need another centre forward though, because I don't think he can hold the line in his own. So yeah, look, it just tells you guys, just hearing everybody, there is options there, and the club have got to get it done. What's the delay? We have no idea, but time is ticking. Pre-season started. I want these players in ASAP to get integrated into the team, because what you'll see on against Chelsea at the weekend, you'll see Spurs have plenty of the ball, but there'll be no killers up front. It's just going to be so frustrating. We need to get these forwards in ASAP. God knows what the hold-up is. We ain't got a clue. We don't know who's coming in, but it's got to be sorted. It's got to be sorted in the next week, ASAP, I think. And I know everyone's going around in circles with this, but there are players out there. Spurs can sign. They've got a lot of money. They can go and spend it, get them in, and then we can kind of relax a little bit.
Yeah, fair play, Dan. Fair play, mate. Dave, comments following on from Dan?
Yeah, I'm. Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, my dream would be Liao and Osman, but I think Osman's out of our wheelhouse, unfortunately. But I went with Guirassy because he's just a proven goal scorer, isn't he? He is what he does. He just sits in that box. He's like he's a larger version of Jermaine Defoe, just poacher. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the kind of player we need at Tottenham, who will just sit on the shoulder of the last defender and break, time his runs when we need to. He does it so well for Dortmund. But the idea of Savinho, I mean, a lot of people, I can get why people are so skeptical of his output. But you got to remember, if you watched him in his previous clubs, Girona, he had space to run into. He had time on the ball. When you're playing against City, when you're in a City team, you're playing every single week. You're playing against a low block. You haven't got that space to run into. Do you know what I mean? And he's used to playing with lots of freedom and space to run into. When he's playing for us, we're not going to be we're not going to be a team that's on the ascendancy from first minute to the 90th minute. Do you know what I mean? They're like, teams are going to come and try and give us a game of football.
But Dave, mate, isn't Savinho sort of player who can dribble past players? Doesn't matter in tight spaces, even if it's a low block. He's the sort of guy who could get past a couple on that left wing, and then try and create something. So isn't that his ski? Isn't that one of his key skills? Is dribbling past players, no?
Yeah,
that's why
true.
we need a left winger to break down low blocks. Someone who's with a bit of trickery, you can get past their fullback.
True, but
go on.
The argument of that is he hasn't been given a fair crack at the whip by Pep, has he? Let's be honest, he hasn't. Last season, he pretty much warmed the bench. He made a few cameo appearances here and there. And I mean, I'm watching his performances, like different YouTube videos and stuff like that, of what he was like, how his play is for City. And I watched him for Girona, and it's just completely different, absolutely completely different. He just looked more comfortable on the ball. He looked more Brazilian-esque when he had the ball at his feet. His thing is as well, he's got buckets of pace as well. If he can run into that space and counter, we can counter teams with his pace. We're going to cause lots of problems with him in the team.
Especially Kudus as well on the other side.
Yeah, and Kudus as well.
Dave, do you know what? It's a different league.
It is, yeah, exactly. So it's a lot more competitive league. Thing is, people say it's a risk with him. Yeah, it's a risk, but it's also a risk if you buy Krupi as well.
Yeah.
He's had one proven season, isn't he? One proven season. He could come to us and be an
Look,
absolute.
can I just say, Lubo? Can you mute, please, mate? Oh, he is muted.
Oh, he's muted.
Oh.
What about
Now
if I do that?
Try now.
Go on, Dave.
No,
Lubo looks like he's biting his tongue with me.
It's Cookie. It's Cookie as well. Sort it out, mate.
It's a pair of
No.
you. Can I just ask, like the Savio guys? Can I just ask, right? So, Dave, by the way, I love the Owl or Savio plus Garassi. I think that makes a lot of sense. What I don't get is Savio and Krupi. Because what I hear is tricky winger who's gonna beat his man, cross the ball, but then you've got Krupi. He's not an in the box finisher. What he is a collect the ball, turn his man, move forwards, do a couple of little 1-2s. Does that make sense? Can somebody just tell me that they think that those two players are kind of fitting into a team?
Krupi can. Krupi can finish in the box, but sorry, go on, Dan. Go on.
No, you go, Danny. I think you're going to say what I'm going to say. Go for it.
No, you go for it, mate. You go for it. Go on.
No, I just think.
I always talk too much. I'm enjoying listening to others. So go on.
Okay, cheers, mate. Yeah, Krupi is known for his being clinical, right? Taking his chances, right? He's very clinical. I've heard this is one of his strengths. People have kind of said he's similar to Defoe. I know he's different, but he's got that eye for goal in the box, outside the box, picks up good areas, running at at teams. So Rain, I get what you're saying, because if it was just Krupi and Savinho, I don't think that would work. Savinho and Garassi, yeah, okay, because you've got a target man in there. So I think you'd play Krupi behind. You'd have to come in a kind of number 10-ish position, wouldn't he? I think, guys, Krupi. He's not going to be able to lead the line.
So would Krupi play Ted and Solanke be the man up front then? Or would he play with a false nine as such?
I think he'll play both, because if you remember at Brighton, and yeah, Dan, what you said was what I was going to say as well, so yeah, spot on. I think what he did at Brighton, he did a lot of games where I can't remember, was it Buonanotte who was or whoever it was who was used to play number 10 for Brighton when he was there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There used to be games where he played Welbeck up top, and then he'd play someone else up top, and he'd swap him around quite regularly, because I think what people were not maybe they've not got used to the idea that we might not have this type of team that we've been used to seeing in the past, right? Where we have a number 9, we have a proper left winger, a right winger, and they're set in their positions. I think what De Zerbi wants, and what he did with his Brighton team, but what he looks like he's doing, or you could say the best example of a team that's doing it now is Paris Saint-Germain, right? They do it better than anyone because they're the kings of Europe at the moment, where you don't have an actual number 9. You have versatile forwards, if that makes sense. And the forwards are good enough to know where they should be in what position to be, when to drop deep, when to go to the right. If someone else is in your spot, you interchange. It just reminds me of exactly what we saw with Pochettino when he had Desk, right? When he had Dele Alli, Ericsson, Son, and Kane, and Dele Alli and Ericsson used to play on the wings. They're not wingers, but they used to start there. But how many times did you used to see Ericsson on the left, or Son up top, and Kane further back, or Dele Alli on the right? You just see them interchange all the time, and it made it very difficult for teams to beat us when we had that front four in flowing sort of unity, cohesion between them, because you're in different positions all the time. It makes it very difficult for defenders to set up a game plan to stop them, because you're free flowing. It's like a free it's like a free roam, isn't it? It's like a free roam kind of positioning, right? And I think that I believe that's what De Zerbi wants to do. He wants to have a kind of structure, but I think he wants to have it so that the players that he chooses are good enough and intelligent enough to know when to be in what position if another player is somewhere else, or that's what I think. Anyway.
Danny, you're misremembering, mate. Harry Kane absolutely led the line.
Yeah, but he didn't always wasn't always the number 10. He wasn't always the number 9. He was always
Harry
dropping
Kane
back
was
as well.
No.
Harry Kane dictated a lot of play.
He didn't. No. He didn't start that until after 2019. In up to about 2018, he was on the shoulder of the centre backs all the time. Harry Kane, all the time. He would absolutely monster centre backs. I remember him monstering Cahill and John Terry and finishing their careers at Chelsea. That's what Harry Kane used to do. It was only under Jose that he started to drop back. You're misremembering, mate. That Dele and Ericsson were the ones who were deeper. Dele used to come from a 10, and Ericsson used to drift in from the right.
No, I'm not misremembering, because a lot of the times, even in the Poch era, you'd have everyone mute. You'd have Ericsson, and Dele Alli, especially Dele Alli. Dele Alli was the furthest player forward, and you'd have Son a lot of the time. That's why these players got so many goals. It didn't get goals because they were just supporting Harry Kane. They got goals because they were in and around the box.
Danny, De Zerbi doesn't want Krupi to play as a target man. He wants him to play like an Henry type centre forward.
Yeah, 100%.
That's how he's going to play. Rain's right. Kane led the line basically, and he then learned how to drop deeper under Mourinho in the 1920 season. And that's when
he was doing that before, just not at the same level as what he did when he was under Mourinho.
Occasionally, he do it occasionally.
Kane used to be deep and spray these unbelievable balls, right? He wasn't always. You guys are forgetting. It's just that when Ericsson left us, someone's got to mute your mic. You've got to mute the mics. When Ericsson left, right, that's when Kane had to take on 2 roles, right? So he became more of a dictator of the play from a number 10 position because we didn't have anyone else to do it. But he was still doing it when we had. That
was in the 18-19 season, mate.
No. When Ericsson left, I'm saying, and Mourinho was there. That was 2000. That was 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 2019. But I'm saying that he was still doing that before when Poch was there. He was still doing that. He just wasn't doing it at the same rate because we had Ericsson doing it.
2020, Danny.
There's a difference.
Madrid was June 19. Ericsson played in that game. Ericsson left, I think, the following January.
Yeah, he did. That's what I'm saying.
Danny, yes, you're right. Harry Kane did not just stay in the box or stay in the D for all of the games, but he only started dropping back properly, in the classic Harry Kane style that we now think of in 1920.
Yeah, I wasn't debating that. I was saying that he was still coming deep, and he was, but not to the level that he was doing it. Not to the level. No. He was. You just forget,
of course,
right? Because
I'm not forgetting.
When Ericsson was there, Ericsson was the main number 10. He was a dictator, right? But didn't stop Kane from still doing those parts. It's just that we had Ericsson doing it more regularly because he was the main guy the football would go through, the team would go through, right? But when Ericsson left, Harry Kane had to pick up the number 10 role as well because we had no other number 10 more prominent, that he was able to do it more and more because he had to, right? So he was still doing it because he had the ability to do it. You can say all you want, Rain, but that's exactly what happened. So
yeah, but the thing is, you're getting your years mixed up, mate.
I'm not getting it mixed up, mate. Don't tell me I'm getting it mixed up. I know exactly what I saw when I used to watch Spurs, right? You might be a bit older than me, Rain, but your brain might be, your memory might be a bit dizzy,
Ericsson left in 2019.
Yes.
It was around 2019 that Kane flipped from being a pure nine.
Oh my god, you're
yes,
not listening to what I just said.
But
Are
no,
you
you're
ignoring what I
trying to.
said.
I'm not ignoring what you said.
Did I say Harry Kane was a number 10 during the Poch era?
Oh.
And dropping deep? Did I say that?
Yes.
No, I didn't. So you're not listening. You're literally not listening. I said he was able to do it, but he wasn't like a number 10. I said he's still in games, came back. It just wasn't as much as it was after Ericsson left. Listen.
maybe you're not saying it right.
Can I mix it up a bit now? I think with remembering Kane,
You just need to listen.
Yes.
he had the guys running. Running. What's that kind of saying? When he drops back, runners on, didn't he? Ali, Ericsson, Son, right? And then if you remember that team, all those guys got goals, right? Didn't they? Ericsson,
Yep.
Ali, Son, Kane. And this is what Spurs need to be looking at, isn't it? They're all those forward players. Madison will get goals, of course. I don't know if Kudus will get enough goals, but that's why the centre forward and the left winger have got to contribute 10 plus goals each, really, and more, if it's really going to work, isn't it? De Zerbi football. So, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, to kind of reflect back.
But
on that
Dan,
team.
that's why I'm so concerned, because you look at
you
look at Kudus. Kudus is, Kudus's output is not fantastic. Good player. Odebear, well, he isn't going to be with us until December. Tell not proven that he can score goals or make assists in the Premier League. I think he's a good player there, but will he come good? Don't know. Now people are talking about Savio. There's no evidence there. I personally think that Solanke is actually a much better striker than he's shown for us in the last 2 seasons. He's been injured most of it. And Richarlison, who doesn't look like he's going anywhere, he gets his 10 to 15 goals, but there's not enough goals there in those players to make up that. None of them are getting 15 to 20 goals like Delhi got. None of them are getting 10 to 12 goals like Ericsson got. None of them are doing it.
So Rain, you'll make great points, man. I have this worry as well, massive concerns, because Savinho, I was always doubting that transfer link because of his output. But then I've gone, as I said when I came on, I've looking at left wingers. They don't score that many goals, to be honest. So I don't really know. But if you're De Zerbi, right, because he's the guy in control here, where's his head at thinking about this forward line dilemma? This is what I'd love to be in his head, because we have the transfer links and what's online and whatever. We just don't really know. And I mean, it's a problem, isn't it? It really is a worry. Whoever we bring in, is there going to be enough goals there? And I think it's going to be a lot of De Zerbi kind of upskilling players. It's going to be, if it is a Savino, it's going to be De Zerbi really maximising his talent. I don't know what else to say. There's just not obvious ones out there. But all the players you said, guys, when I asked, all of them had goals. I think most of them anyway. They have some kind of output. So maybe we're stressing over nothing, but we just don't know. This is the thing, isn't it? We just don't know, and we're getting frustrated. We want them players in. Yeah, we want it done, and then we can move on.
And as well, just to add to the previous argument, I think the reason why we were so dominant in games under the Poch era, because you had two absolute solid central midfielders in Dembele and Wanyama.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We haven't had that for so long, but now we've got Tonali and Fernandes, two players that are more than capable of dictating the tempo of play of the game. I think this is where we've been going wrong for so many years. We haven't had the midfielders that can control a game. Last season was we lost most of our games last season because we lost the midfield battle.
100%.
And now you've got Tonali and Fernandez there. You've got Tonali, who's the bullish enforcer. Do you know what I mean? Who will go in and put the hard tackles in, like the Paulinho type player. But he's got that more to his game than Paulinho. He's also got he's got better forward thinking brain. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to having the ball at his feet. And then you got Matisse Fernandez, who can spray passes across the pitch and split those defenses open with passes. And if you can get the winger right and the striker right, it's just a recipe for success, in my opinion, because you've got two players in the centre of the park that are controlling the play of the game, dictating everything. And I think you're going to get better output next year based on just Tonali and Fernandez just doing what they're doing, let them doing their thing, letting them cook. I think we're gonna surprise a few. I think we're gonna surprise a lot of people next season. I think we are. We're winning the league, boys.
Yeah, Mark Taylor. You're muted. Yeah, fantastic. Mark Taylor. Yeah, I think it's been a bit debunked. It's because from what I understand, people are putting one-on-one together that they haven't seen him in the training video and coming up with two. But there were plenty of other players who weren't in the training video as well. So at the moment it does look like a bit of speculation rather than fact. Let's see what happens.
You'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. Guys, can I ask a question? Forwards and wingers. Apart from Welbeck, who it looks like is going to Chelsea, plus Morgan Rogers, Arsenal with Solis, Liverpool, nobody. City so far, nobody. United, nobody. Villa have got Garnacho. Which, you know, they're sort of trying to plug the gap for Rodgers. Hardly anybody's been bought so far. And we're all looking at it thinking, why aren't we buying? So many clubs are not buying at the moment because there is a dearth of good strikers and wingers that you can realistically get.
Yeah.
So, you know, will we get, hopefully we'll get Savinho. I think it's worth the risk. I think it'll be one of those, you know, you hope it'll be like a Salah who didn't make it at Chelsea, but made it big at Liverpool. So we'll see. I
still don't get it.
There's no panic. I don't.
Like what Daryl's saying. Do you know what, mate? You may not be panicking. You may think that everything's fine and dandy in 17th.
I didn't say that,
world.
Rain. I didn't say our forward line's any good. But what I'm saying is that they are working. They're working around the clock to sort it out.
How do you know that?
I know.
And to be honest,
I know that.
it doesn't matter a jot. It doesn't matter if they're working.
Actually.
Can you just mute for a second? Can you just mute for a second, please, mate?
It does matter. Go on.
Can you just mute for a second? It doesn't matter whether they're working hard. All that matters is that they get over the freaking line, and that means getting players out and getting players in. They can have their "I've been working hard" medal as much as they want, but what they really need is I managed to get rid of the players who we didn't want and managed to get the players in that we did want medal, right? Enough of this runners up, you know, best dressed medal kind of, oh, we're working hard. Who cares?
We tried.
Yeah, we tried. Who cares? Who cares?
We're right. The window's 11 weeks. We're 6 weeks in. We've got 6 in, 6 out. If we finish up after 11 weeks with 11 and 11 out, you're going to be complaining. Anybody going to be complaining?
Obviously, bring forwards in, Lubo. I don't really care.
Sure, listen.
And again, Ian, is 2 enough? You mentioned 2. You said 2.
I don't think so.
You think maybe 3, but is that enough, Ian?
But how many do you expect him to get in one window? Mate?
I don't know. Listen, I was one of the ones that said that it's not all going to happen in one window. I get that, and I fully do get that. But at the moment, Ian, with the two up front, right, he still ain't got a first team, has he? No, let alone a squad. He hasn't got what he wants up front.
Not
At the moment.
Not yet. Not yet.
At this moment in time, we've got one left winger, no right wingers, and Solanke and Richarlison up as nines.
Well, we'll have Kudus fit. We've got Tell on the left. So yes, we do have players.
But
Kudus is going to be fit.
But also, what Rain's saying as well is if he's not fit and if he gets injured, then we still don't have another right winger, right? Because they're injured, and we still don't have a left winger apart from Tell, and then you've got Richarlison and well, the donkey Richarlison, and then Solanke. So it's really difficult. So I personally think they're going to get two for definite, right? And I think what will happen is either they will try and get rid of Richarlison to bring in the third one, right? Or it's gonna when does the Premier League start, by the way? Is it after the transfer window or before it?
Before start 22nd, 20 or 26th of something of August.
Right.
Yeah,
so
2 games. We've got 2 matches.
Right. So there is a chance that between then they should be targeting or have someone on their list, but I think there's a chance that we might get one more player, third attacker, towards the end of the window, purely because there could be a case where after pre-season, the manager's like, he's looking at that squad and looking at Richarlison and Solanke, like, I cannot go into the season with these two. Like, I just can't. I need another one. So I think it could be something like that. Even though we know it, I think he knows it, but
Danny, he knows
it depends on how much he's going to push.
Danny, do you not think he knows that he needs a new front line?
Of course he does.
He said
I think they need 3 minimum.
Danny, he said it in how many times has he been quoted in the last 2 weeks that he needs forwards? He knows.
And he kind of got a bit
Sorry,
jumpy when they asked him, isn't it?
Lubo, what's your point, mate? What is your point? You're muted.
But today is not September the 2nd, Rain. That's why I'm chilled.
So what?
I have every confidence. That between now and the end of the window.
Lubo, I'm sorry, mate.
Hear me out.
Okay.
I have every. David, I saw Mason Media last week for the under-21s at Bournemouth, and he did an awful lot of running, awful lot of tracking, but his first touch isn't that great. Believe me, it's not that great. He is not. He is nowhere near ready. The only player in that under-21 team that I thought looked anywhere close to a first-team squad was Miracle Adewole, who played at left back in the first half and played right back in the second half. Very highly rated, looked very good. Sharp, quick, passing is good, accurate, good player. He was the only one. He's the plus point, the advantage we had last season with De Zerbi coming in when he did, was that he had, in effect, between beginning of April and the end of May, he had what most managers would normally have as a pre-season. But he had seven pressurised matches to keep us up. And he knew after those 7 games what those players can do and what they can't do. So no one knows better than De Zerbi. He decided to work from the back forwards. Listen, we conceded 180 plus goals in three seasons. You've got to stop the goals going in. You don't concede, you don't lose. That's where you've got to start with a strong back four. He's got into midfield. Now he's going up front. And it also depends on when players become available as well. You know, it's maybe a striker will become available in the next couple of weeks that nobody knows. You know, nobody thought would be available. Maybe
like Randall Kolo Muani.
No, forget Muani. That was a panic buy.
The closer you get to the end of the window, mate.
I'll throw one into you. The Japanese striker.
The more likely you have a panic.
Solanke got injured last week of July. They messed about with him. They tried injections, the whole lot, tried to get him fit. Instead of chucking him straight in for an op last week of July, they took it right to the death, and then a week before they thought, oh, he's not going to make it. we better buy a striker in. And then 2 or 3 days before the end of the window, who's left? You're into a panic buy. We're still, that's right, Ollie Watkins is a good shout. You know who else is another good shout? Is Balogun. Thought was very good for the USA.
Right,
Another
Lubo,
one- another one
look,
who would be good.
look,
Listen,
go
he
on, Nick.
knows.
This is none of this makes any sense. I'm sure it makes sense in your head. Can you just mute for a second? I'm sure it makes sense in your head, but none of it actually makes any sense, mate. They're trying hard, so cut them some slack. No. There's too much evidence, too much history, and there's too much risk involved with them not getting deals over the line. And the reality is, the closer it gets to the end of the window, the more likely we'll have like you say, a panic buy. The more likely other clubs will say, no, we're not selling players. The season's already started. We need a replacement in. We're not going to sell until we get a replacement in. So all you're saying is just guff. It's complete nonsense. There's no backing to it whatsoever. It's all hot air. The only thing that matters is the players that we've got in and the players that we got out.
Firstly, Rain, I take exception to you being rude on air. Because I don't talk hot air.
Sense, mate.
Sorry. No, where it makes sense.
Everyone's got an opinion, you know.
No, that's right. But I'm not talking, but you don't have to be rude about it. If you don't agree, you don't agree. That's one thing. Secondly, these guys are doing their best to get players over the line. Sometimes it doesn't happen. You know, clubs are not there to roll over. They're not there for our benefits. Everybody looks after their own and their own interests. Okay? They're trying. Better that they try than not try, because they haven't tried for 25 years. But these owners this summer are trying. So for me, that's a step forward. And if you're not trying, you're not going to get. You don't go to the party, you don't get a drink. So they are doing their best to get players over the line. It's not always, you can't just say, oh, click your fingers, bang, let's get him in. What are we talking about here? Seriously. How many players,
the only thing that we can judge them on
hang on,
is what actually happened.
Have Liverpool replaced
That's the only thing we can judge them on.
Think so.
We can't judge them on they're trying hard. Tom put it really well. It went if you're a salesman and you sell nothing, but you turn around and go, oh, I tried hard. Doesn't matter, does it?
But if I'm a salesman and I pulled off 6 deals in the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'm working on some other bigger deals that are taking longer, then people are going to look at that and think, do you know what? I understand exactly what's going on here. There's your analogy.
But the problem is we're so in the dark with it, we don't know what they're doing. It's like a mystery, isn't it? And also we're running the risk of leaving it later and later and later. The later we're going to leave it, we're going to be paying more of a premium, but it's getting closer and closer to that deadline.
Can I ask you a question? Do you not think if we could have got Savio over the line by now, we would have done?
I think League Blue Boat, Man City are being complete dicks about the whole deal.
Yeah, they're being difficult. City have been very difficult about it.
And they're trying to. They're saying, "Oh, we need to find his replacement." No, they don't. They've got Shirky, who can play there. Mamouche can play there.
No, not really.
Foden can play there.
Hang on. No. If you're talking about,
they've still got Grealish, Dave.
No, they sold. They got rid of Bob, and if they get rid of Savinho, then you'd expect them to get one in to replace those two. Is Grealish a winger like Savinho and Oscar Bob? No. Nothing like he's not. He's a very good player that drifts in from the left. He's not. Grealish is not a Savinho type winger. So for me, I think people have just got to have faith in De Zerbi. He knows what he needs. He knows that we haven't got. Listen, Kudus hopefully will come back in time. They left him behind to carry on his rehabilitation. The reports are saying that it's going well. They're very hopeful that he will be ready for the start of the season, which will be brilliant. So you'll have Kudus on the right. If you pick up Savinho in the next 3.5 weeks, you start with him on the left, and with a bit of luck, we'll get a striker. And if we do, you get a good striker in between Kudus and Savino. The whole thing looks completely different, doesn't it? You got Tonali and Fernandez in midfield. You got Madison behind the front three. You've got a back four of what? Porro, Udogi, Van Heck, and Van der Ven. Maybe he plays three at the back and he brings Senesi in. You got a very good side there. So for me, not everything happens immediately. Why do we think? Why are we that arrogant that we think Spurs are doing? What are they doing? Why aren't they getting it over the line? What is the delay? There are delays because other clubs have their own best interests at heart, and if we're going to pick up one of their players, then they're going to want to replace that player. I wouldn't want Spurs selling a top player of ours without having a replacement lined up. None of us would.
We done it last season with Brendan Johnson. Didn't we? We sold him. Then day later, Then 2 days later, Kudus gets injured, and we didn't replace him.
Okay, but listen. That was down to.
So the Johan Lang.
Yeah, that was down to Lang. Paratici put Akliouche forward, who would have been a great replacement. You could have played Akliouche on the right side, but no. Frank wanted Charlet and he wanted Paqueta, and Lang back Frank and Vinay back Lang, and with that Paratici left. So, and that was one of many.
So this is what I mean by this has got the idiots running the show at the club. They're throwing all their eggs into one basket for Paqueta, right? But he publicly came out and told West Ham he wants to leave because he's homesick. He wants to go home. But Spurs are trying everything they can to get him.
Lubo, mute when you're not talking, mate.
Yeah.
Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Yeah,
it's better.
That just shows you the idiocy running the footballing side of our business. Let's go and try and buy a player from a rival club who's publicly came out and said, I'm homesick and I want to go home. And we put our eggs into that basket to try and get him. We should have got Akliouche. He was there. Monaco made it even easier for us to go and get him because they bought that winger from Sunderland. Do you know what I mean? So, and it just didn't materialize. So I just think in my whole philosophy of running a transfer strategy is I think you need to get your key players in and done before your season starts. I think you need to get the most necessary in first. I think we've done it how we've done it. We've started from the back, worked our way through midfield. But I think it should have been that way round. We needed to sort our attack out first before we went with our back to our midfield. I think we should have gone attack, midfield, then defence. But either way, as long as they get the job done over the line, I don't care. But I'm telling you now, we'll all be sitting here in a month's time. If we've still got Tell, Solanke, Richie leading that line for us, start of the season, it's going to be a different conversation we're all having. I promise you. We're all going to be going absolutely
Solanke's
mental.
going to be starting up front, mate. Solanke will be starting up front.
Oh yeah, either ways. But in my opinion,
we're going for a versatile attacker. We're not even going for a number 9.
Yeah,
which is a worry, isn't it?
And yeah, well, this is why my argument is. This is what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks now. Well, since beginning of the window, I'm like, why on earth have we not taken a punt at Dusan Vlahovic? He's available for free, right? I know he hasn't had the greatest output over the last couple of seasons and stuff like that forever. I just personally think he needs a change of culture, change of everything. And do you know what I mean? And do you know what? If it doesn't work out, you offer him a 3-year, 4-year deal anyway. If it doesn't work out, you sell him the following summer, and you're making money on you make money on him.
What Zerbi wants.
We'll end up with
in him.
We're going to end up with Uasi from Feyenoord or something like that. Do you know what I mean? That's what we're going to end up with.
Well, if we got Garassi and we got Savinho, I'd be absolutely thrilled with that transfer business. I
No,
think
not
Garassi.
not Garassi. Urasi from Feyenoord,
Oh, sorry.
the
Yeah,
Japanese striker. I mean, his output
yeah.
is really good, but it's what he's playing in. I mean, he's hit 38 goals and 37 the year before. That's not a bad output, is it? And he done it in the World Cup as well. He's a good little player. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to be bargain basement, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. But I've heard part of me where I do like what Lubo said. Just be a bit more patient because
Yeah, absolutely.
something's lurking on the back of my mind, saying I still think we're going to pull off. I've got this feeling we're going to pull off a big one. I don't know who it is, but my curiosity is aroused by Morgan Gibbs White. I still think we're going to try and shed some more light on that deal. I've just got this feeling that we're going to come in late for him. He's going to be a late one because he's not something we desperately need. Do you know what I mean? But
we should do Bergvall and like 20-odd million or 25 million or something like that. Or 80 or 30 million. Get him in.
It's just, I don't know. This should all be sorted. This forward line should have been sorted before we went out on this tour, so they could get used to each other.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Because
it's too late.
Because I think when you want to get your forwards done, you want to get that done first because that's the one that is the area of the pitch that takes the longest to gel.
Yeah.
Because they're used to playing in different attacking systems in different teams, so they're going to need at least a month to understand how De Zerbi wants them to play.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's going. They in my opinion, I don't care if they get Savinho done, if we get Krupi in, whatever. I'll be happy. Do you know what I
can't
mean?
see Bournemouth letting him go, man.
Well, I think
It's
someone comes in and offer them that 110 mil, whatever they want, they're not going to say no to it, are they? They're not going to say no.
That sort of
But
money.
if we start the season with Solanke and Richie, our only two strikers, and their window ends like that, it'll destroy me. I just don't think neither of them are good enough. Solanke's had one prolific season out of 9.
Dave, your expectation will drop, won't it? And most people probably will.
I just can't see De Zerbi allowing that to happen. I think I think he will blow his lid if they don't do it and I think I've got a funny feeling that in the background he's putting on the pressure to hurry up because he's like us, right? He wants it done as soon as possible. He wants the players in as soon as possible. I mean, the fact that we were able to get 6 players in before the pre-season started is unbelievable for Spurs. So that's already
never heard of. Same as what Lubo's saying. It's never heard of. Spurs are acting differently.
So that in itself is unbelievable, right? Because normally we'd have like 1 or 2 players in by now, and then we'd be scrounging around in the last 2 weeks or so to try and get some deals, basically, and that's it. That's what Daniel Levy did. So the fact that they already know their targets, and let's be honest, the targets that they want, right, which looks to be Savinho and Krupi as the main ones, they're both players that their respective clubs want ridiculous sums of money for. Now, when you're doing deals for that sort of money, especially when the buying club doesn't value them at the same as the selling club, right? So that's the problem in itself. So it's difficult when you've got your vision set on what you want and the clubs are either changing the goalposts or they're playing hard to get or whatever it is they're doing, right? Whereas Savinho, I think it's a matter of time, personally, right? And I think it is. I think Man City, maybe they're just being a bit arrogant, being a bit to try and piss us off a bit. Maybe it's to do with something to do with
Danny,
the way they're trying to get there.
It's been 18 months, mate.
Yeah, but let's be honest. None of us are sitting here saying that Savinho is worth 70, 80 million pounds, right? Which personally, I don't think Spurs are paying. Personally, I don't think that's what Man City value him at. From what I know, I think it's more around the 50 to 60 million pound mark, right? And I think that it's a matter of time when it comes
The
to.
harsh,
Oh, hold on, one
the
second.
harsh
When it comes,
reality is.
one second.
Sorry.
Let me finish. Lubo, can you mute? With Krupi, right? I'm also with you, Bikey, because there is no way in hell a team like Bournemouth are going who are they trying to build is it a new stand or a new stadium?
New stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, new stadium. And it's like not even a quarter of the size. Well, it's just yeah, I don't know. It's like 20 odd thousand or whatever it is. So it's that 100 million or 90 million pounds. There is no way they turn that sort of money down. And the reason they're trying to get as max, it's like anything in life, right? Everything's got a price. Krupi, if the club are willing to pay what Bournemouth want, he will be sold. There is no doubt about that, right? In my opinion, I'm not sure that Spurs want to pay a massive chunk up front for someone of his age who's not more proven, right? Regardless of how special his talent might be, I still think, personally, if it was, if I was Spurs and that's my number one target, I'm going to pay to go and get him because that's my number one target, and that's the risk that you run when you buy a player for that price. But what's to say that you go and buy a 60 million pound striker and it's even worse? So, for me, if that's what their heart is set on, go and get him. Right? Of course, it's going to be difficult to get someone like Krupi because I personally think Spurs are trying to get rid of more players before trying to bring in Krupi or try and go for him. I think they will launch a bid for him. Whether or not it's successful or not is another thing. But yeah, that's what I feel anyway.
Fine. So this is classic Spurs fan or fan perspectives, right? The reality is we've stalled the last couple of weeks. Why we stalled the last couple of weeks? In fact, actually, I was on a show with Sean, right? We'd just done all the business, and Sean turned around and went, "What are we doing next, Rain?" And I went, "What we need next is outgoings." And Sean looked at me and went, "That's not very exciting." It's like, no, but that's what needs to happen. And you know what? That's why we've stalled. It's what Corey said. Corey said it. Yeah? The reason why we're not signing players is because they. And actually, do you know what? Fair play. Lubo said it, right? We're currently over our homegrown numbers. Yeah, we're currently over our.
Clip that one, Lubo. Clip it.
Our non-homegrown.
Yeah, I also said that as well. Sorry, Rain, but
we're currently over our non-homegrown numbers, right? The reason why we're not signing players is because they're not getting players out, which is why I'm sitting here, right, and I'm going, it's taking too long. It's taking too long. It's grinding, and you know the way that it's going to work. You know, right now it's 5 weeks. In a couple of weeks it'll be 3 weeks. In a couple of weeks after that, there'll be 1 week. We'll be measuring it in hours. And the closer we get, the less likely it will happen. We can't sell our best players.
We've got a lot of foreign players that just aren't up to scratch as well. I mean, we've got to clear the decks of them. We've got to clear the decks in the under-21 team as well. There isn't that many great players in the under-21s apart from like Byfield and a few others to mention. But the rest of them, like Dorrington's been around now. It feels like an old bit of rug. He was meant to go to Poland, and then I want to stay in England, so that threw that one in the shitter, didn't it? Really. And then you've got to try and get rid of Ritchie or Solanke or Berbatov, Bentancur. You've got to try and get rid of players that aren't good enough, even for championship standards. You've got to find players.
Romero,
Bergval.
But Corey,
Solomon.
Corey, the club's in talks with potential buyers for Vicario, Romero, Bergval. There was a fourth one.
Saar?
Just mentioned. No, not Saar.
Bentancur.
There was a fourth: Vicario, Romero, Bergvall.
Was it the guy who's going to Leicester?
Dorrington.
No,
wasn't it?
Richarlison as well, because I think Juventus have made an inquiry about him. So the club are talking to four clubs or four different situations regarding 4 players. So there are talks going on at the moment. So we just don't know, do we? We're picking up from the reports that we're seeing. Romero's still Barcelona possibly looking at it. Who knows?
And I'm pretty sure I read. Pretty sure I read a couple of weeks ago that Brentford keeping tabs on Sarr.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. Correct. I don't know whether they've made touch base with the club or not, but that's where we are. So if you got rid of if those 5 all went, then you've got 11 out the door, haven't you? And you've got 35 on tour. You've got 11 that haven't gone, which is 46. So the way I see it is there are going to be a lot of players between now and 5 weeks' time that are going to go out the door or on loan, and there might be a small handful of players that De Zerbi takes with him into the first team. So, I think there is a hell of a lot that's going to go on between now and September the 1st.
I don't disagree with that. I think you'll see a couple more out the door first, and then I think you'll see 1 or 2 out the door first, and then I think they'll, as long as City stop messing around. But I personally, I don't think Spurs are going to walk away from Savinho. I think they're going to wait until the end to get him if they have to. Personally, I don't think they can walk away from it now. It's too far. Like it's pretty much done. It's a matter of them just saying yes.
Whether it's done or not. I mean, we've been like 18 months trying to get a Savinho, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? And they're saying, it's a De Zerbi player. De Zerbi wants him.
It's not.
Last July,
we were linked with him last year.
It was last July we first made an inquiry about Savinho. It's only 12
Was
months.
it? Okay.
Yeah, but you got to also understand is that Savinho, De Zerbi's not going to sign off on Savinho if he doesn't think he can work with him.
That's not the point. The point is, deals need to get over the line. It's not the point whether Savinho. None of that's important. What's important is we need the right players to get out and the right players to get in. And at the moment, Savinho is a bottleneck. You need to get rid of the bottleneck. It's not working. Go and get a different player. But actually, what they really need to do, and I love your optimism, mate. I love your optimism, but you say things with such certainty. But what we actually know is right here, right now, there's a hell of a lot of business that needs to happen, and none of it seems to be happening. Right? That's what we know.
I'd say an awful lot of business has happened so far in 6 weeks. I'm not sure. When you look at what has been done, we've got 6 in and 6 out in 6 weeks, and you look at what other clubs are doing. I don't think our fans have got any reason to complain whatsoever. Nobody can say the club haven't been proactive.
So I just find that absolutely remarkable that you've been in here listening to what's being said, and you can say, can you mute, please, mate? And you can say there's nothing to be worried about. You have to accept that what's being said about the position that we're in is an incredibly risky position. Because you know what? If you don't accept it, you've got no credibility. And that's where you currently are with me. You've got no credibility because you're not accepting the fact. You're not accepting the fact. No. I'm giving you the truth, mate. We've got one left winger. We've got Solanke and Richarlison up top. We've got no right wingers who are fit. And you're saying, relax.
I think you need to get your memory checked out, because I've said on here in the last hour, De Zerbi can see that the front three is not good enough. I've said it 2 or 3 times.
You know, I don't care. All I care about is what's happened. That's all I care about. I don't care about these ifs, buts, and maybes.
It is a little bit.
In a,
Go on,
in a
Luba, go on,
perfect,
go on,
in a
mate.
perfect world, De Zerbi says, right, I want those 8 players. We go to each club. We say, right, what do you want? There's the money. Done, dusted. That's not
Yeah.
a perfect world. That's not how
Yeah.
the world
Doesn't exist.
works. Doesn't work that way.
I think this is where the Spurs fans are getting a bit too
Ahead of themselves, Danny.
yeah, and just a bit overexcited and over panicking. Like the window is not over yet, and in the real world, things don't always turn out the way you want them to, in exactly the way you want them to. It's
Can you
like Lubo
blame them
said.
for panicking? No. Can you blame them after
No,
24 years
of
or
course not.
25
But
years of shit?
Yeah,
yeah, but
there are
I get
there are
that.
other factors in this
Hold on,
as
hold on.
well.
Let me just finish the point. But
Go on then.
the thing
Sorry.
is, that we have acted very differently to previous windows, which is why I'm not going to judge anything until I've seen that window close. Because if that window closes and we haven't sorted out that front line, then that's a massive issue for us, right? But at the same time, again, I'm going to say it again, the window doesn't close and for another 4 weeks. We've got 4 weeks, a month nearly, before the window closes. So I expect in the next 2 weeks we're going to see a lot of movement in the next 2 weeks. I think from ingoings and outgoings.
Well, what you
I
have
think
to take into account, Danny,
Has to be, Danny.
yeah, well, you've
Sorry.
got to take into account here as well that a lot of these players are also having their holidays from the World Cup, so they don't want to be contacted just yet. They want to be able
There's
to
that as
relax
well.
with their families, then get back into the business side of this is football, right? Where am I going? Is there a transfer for me?
Yeah.
Am I moving?
And I think, Corey, you have to add in as well that, like I know Luba, I think mentioned it, is that the selling clubs, right? If they don't want to sell, right, because of for whatever reason, X reason, maybe they want a replacement, or they're waiting to get a replacement first, or they want more money, right? Then it makes it difficult for you to go and get the players you want, because the players that we're linked with are players from, apart from Krupi, big clubs, right? And those big clubs, money's not an issue for them. It's more about getting the replacement. Gakpo at Liverpool, the money's not the problem. It's a matter of they want to sign Barcola first before they even think about letting Gakpo go, if he even wants to go, right?
Yeah,
So
they're getting ready. They're getting ready for their season, Danny.
yeah, but they haven't signed Barcola yet. They haven't signed a replacement for Salah yet, have they? Salah's gone. So what they haven't got a right winger or a left winger yet, right? If they're going to replace both of them. So that's a massive problem for Liverpool if they don't replace Salah. Obviously, Barcola seems to be the one they want to go for. But what if they want to sell Gakpo? Then they have to bring in someone else. And if they can't bring in someone else, then why would they want to sell him? So it means it eliminates
Exactly.
us. Yeah, but then it eliminates us going for the player that we want, right? So then if Tottenham are looking at it, right, and saying, well, we're not just going to go and get anyone, are we, right? They want to go and get players they really believe, right, that can make a difference to this first team. And if you and maybe they might go and get a younger player if they cannot get anyone in the, I don't know, with the last couple of weeks to go, last 2 weeks to go. Then they might go and get, I don't know, like what's that the guy that Johnny likes, I forgot his name.
Elmala.
Yeah, him. Someone like him, for example.
But you know, look, I just want to come back on this. We've had 6 players go out. Can I just read the 6 players that we've sold, who we've got rid of? Right, Buskovich never played for us. Lancashire never played for us. Villiers barely played for us. Devine never played for us. Dragosin barely played for us. Bissouma, barely played for us the last 2 seasons. Played for us a lot more. These are not players who we're desperate to get rid of, right, from our squad. These are players who mean nothing. The players who we need to get rid of from our squad, the players who are blocking us, are Sarr, I'm sorry to say it, Bergval, Romero, yeah, Richarlison. These are the players who Vicario. These are the players who we need to get rid of. That's where the business needs to be done. And
Yeah,
Danny,
agree
you're
with that.
right. You're saying the right things. The closer it gets to the start of the season, the less likely other clubs are going to sell you players, because they've then got. Which is why I'm here right, 2 weeks before the Premier League starts, and I'm saying they need to get off their asses, need to pull their finger out and get some deals done. Otherwise, the risk is we get to 2 or 3 weeks away, and we've still got one left winger, 2 forwards in Solanke and Richarlison, and no right winger.
You know what I would do? I'd do what Chelsea did, make the bomb squad as they did it by putting all the players that aren't, in the plans, don't give them a squad place. And then just go, right, sign this player, and that player. And we'll sell these guys as cheaply as we can, but kind of make something on them, That's what I think they should do. Like, Richarlison, sorry, mate. Go and sit in that bomb squad. Romero, I want that fucking prick gone just for holding up the banner at the World Cup now. See you later. Bye-bye. I'll just grab these players that aren't going to cut it in the Zerbi system and just go, right, gone laters.
Yeah, I agree.
You've got,
I agree with Rain.
Suit the men amongst the weeds, Get rid of the fucking players. We've sat here for the last 5-6 seasons saying he's shit.
Yeah, who is that, Corey? Corey, who is the shit players we need to get rid of?
There's a long list I could see.
Well, this is what I mean. And we're struggling to get rid of the dead wood, aren't we? People don't want to buy them.
I know, but then maybe we should be cutthroat like Arsenal was a few years ago, right?
And you can't force them either.
Contract's gone. See you later. Rip it up. Don't worry.
Richarlison,
Take the loss.
Richarlison, he said it.
There's reasons why Richarlison wants to stay in England because he's a year away from claiming citizenship in the country. That's why he wants to stay in England. But no one wants to buy him. So I would literally see you later, mate. Right, there's your contract. Gone. I would literally just look at all this crap that we can't sell and go, right, we're not making anything from you. You're costing us money. Can we pay you out up to 50% of your contract for you to leave and just get them gone? Because they're taking up places.
Corey, you can't pay 50% of a contract. They had to pay Ndombele his full contract to get rid of him a year early. You can't just say, I'm ripping up your contract, and by the way, I'm only giving you 50% of your money. That's illegal.
Well, okay, but you know what I mean, Lubo, as in you're not good enough to be here. No one's buying you. We're taking loss. You're taking up space in the team. You're taking wage, and you're just not good enough. See you later.
But they've got to bring in the replacements first. If they were to say to Solanke and Richie, right, we want to get rid of you. We're not taking you to the Far East. Who's going to play up front this week?
We've got Solomon at the start, isn't it? We've got no one.
Exactly. So you can't just say sorry.
Scarlett, that's it.
Exactly.
It's desperate, isn't it? It's so bad.
You got to bring the players in. Listen, Richie wants to stay, but if we bring in 2 strikers and he drops 2 further down the pecking order, he's going to look at this in a bit of a different way, isn't he? He's not going to think, oh, that's great. I'm going to stay. I'm going to get played because it's just me and Solanke. He's going to be number 4, and he's going to think, I'm not going to get much football here. There's no European football. It's one match a week. I think I better start looking elsewhere, and that's how you get these players out.
Can we offer him back to Everton then for Richarlison?
Maybe. Who knows? Hopefully.
There you go. Bye.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
What I will say is though,
Go on, Dave.
a lot of the other clubs, surrounding clubs around us, don't seem to have a problem selling their players. We always seem to struggle. We need to just be more ruthless.
Because we've been 17th for the last 2 seasons, mate. That's your problem.
Well, yeah, no, but
right out my mouth, Rowley.
But every player we're going to sell, apart from like Richie, we're going to take a huge loss on. Sarr, we're going to take a loss on. Romero, potentially, we're going to take a loss on because it looks like what we're reading say he's going to winter with a loan with an obligation to buy for 40 million euros. That's going to be about a 10 million loss.
Hang on.
Do you know what I mean?
Dave, these players are written down. It's asset depreciation year by year, and it comes off the tax bill. So if Richie's 42 million over 5 years, he comes off 8.4 million each year. So Romero's been here 5 years. The money's, if they paid Atalanta, was it over the 5 years, as a lot of the transfer fees are paid, then they won't be owing them anything. So, you know, it's you look at it as in what we paid and what we're selling, but you write them off year by year, which is why Spurs have had big operating profits the last 2 years, but have finished up in a negative tax position.
Yeah.
Including the grounds as well. So, yeah, it's not.
Someone's putting here in your comments there, Ollie Watkins. Would you, any of you lads, take a punt on him?
I'll take Watkins,
definitely,
but not
yeah.
Vahalovic. Vahalovic for before his injury, sure, all day long.
Yeah.
I wanted him when he was at Fiorentina. Was it Fiorentina? Yeah, it was Fiorentina.
Well, you
When
got
he
to
was
think
there,
this
I
Watkins
wanted him when he
better
was
than
there.
Richarlison.
No, it's been proven that Richarlison's better than Vahalovic.
Oh, come on, yeah.
Statistically,
But when you
in the
watch them
last
both
2
play, they've
years.
both been pretty terrible, both in the last 2 years. Vahalovic
No.
because of injury and Richarlison's
Vlahovic
just shite.
won't come to Spurs. He's not a De Zerbi player. He's the complete opposite. He doesn't work hard at all from the front.
Ollie Watkins would be the player.
Ollie Watkins, now that's a player I'd love at Spurs.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
we were in for him when he was first
30
up for
now.
moving before he went to Villa, weren't he? So
Proven-
we should have got him then.
proven.
I'd take him for a couple years.
Yeah, so would
Oh
I.
yeah.
So would I.
I completely agree, Corey. And the sorry, Cookie, boss.
It's all right, Ray. Go on, carry on. Say what you're going to say, mate. Go on.
I completely agree, Cookie. And the argument was he's not going to be able to play because of Harry Kane.
Yeah.
There you go.
Lads, I've got to drop off. I'm tired.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up now, Dan. I'm
yeah.
going to wrap up now. We'll give
Yeah,
all the
cool.
people with channels a shout out quickly.
All
Before
right,
we do that, I just want to say thank you to Corey, thank you to Rain, Anthony, Dr. Tottenham Therapy. He was on earlier as well. DK, thank you very much.
Thanks for
Let
having
me
me.
just remove this. Where am I? It's gone running.
Yeah, I've
away
got to go to
from me.
bed. Got to get up in the morning.
You can get Ian Lubo. He's over at Tottenham Touchline now. So get over there. Ian, what have you got coming up this week or next week?
Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
There you go.
So if everyone's got time to listen in,
Yeah.
it'd be great. Come across, support us, like and subscribe. It's a good show.
Post
We'll have a
it
match.
in the
We'll have a
group,
match
Lubo.
review.
Lubo, post it in the group, mate. I don't think you do that.
No, I will do.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
I never see when you're on.
I will do.
Whack it in the group, Ian.
will
Always.
do.
Always, mate.
Now the
big
World
up, Ian.
Cup's
Thanks
over,
for
we're
coming on.
getting cracking
Appreciate
again.
you. Danalist, what you got coming up, mate? And anything
Well,
much?
I'm waiting for something. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really dead. It's really dead. It's exhausting going over this striker situation. It's so frustrating. I'm just, obviously, we got a game tomorrow, but it's, nothing to get too excited about. We got the Chelsea match of the weekend. That's going to bring some discussion. Yeah, I'm just waiting for something to come on and talk about at the moment. It's dead, we've got to be honest. It's frustrating waiting all this time for this forward. So if there's something interesting come up, I'll be going live, probably going late around 10ish. I'll let you all know, guys. You're welcome to come on if you want.
Okay, mate.
Okay.
I mean, some people saying Watkins is a gooner. I mean, really? So what?
Regardless whether they're
Apparently
a
he's
fan of a club or not, they're professional football players.
Yeah,
Regardless
exactly.
whether they play for support a team or not, they're getting paid by their club to be professional. It's like me saying I'm a Brightonian, but I support Tottenham, which is truth. But I'll always have a soft spot for my time in the youth team, But I am a Yid.
There you are.
So, but when I'm playing football, when I was a kid, it was me being professional for the youth setup.
Get t-shirts. Look, he's going free Sabio.
Free Savio.
Free Sabio.
Let's all
Like
get
free
them and stand
Nelson
outside
Mandela.
City. Just all get them and stand outside City with like a little Tottenham badge next to it. Free Savio.
You're on mute, Mark. Mark, you're on mute, mate.
God's sake, Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. I was on mute. Yeah, you're absolutely
You should
right.
be sorry.
I love talking to myself. Danalist is waiting for a bit of news to break so he can hit the laptop and bring it to you all, people. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, look, I could do some clickbait videos and make some shit up, but no, I don't do that.
Oh, with the faces.
Yeah, I try to avoid it. Each to their own, though. Who does that? You know.
Who's going to watch the game in the morning?
I
Anyone?
don't do it.
I'm going to get up. I'm going to get up and watch it. I'm going to go to bed now.
What time is it? What time is it on?
10:45.
10:45.
Is it 10:45?
Oh, yeah,
What
early.
in our time?
Yeah,
Our time.
10:45 in the morning.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah,
My
which is
midday
why-
kickoff.
Which is
Probably
why
watch
there is
it.
no
Lunchtime
breakfast
for me.
brunch in the morning as well.
Are you going to do a watch along?
No, Stell's doing a watch along, I believe, or he's one of the people.
Oh,
doing
is he? Ole.
So if I'm up in the morning, I shall
Okay.
jump on there for a bit. We'll see.
Bet finds me a dodgy website to watch it on then.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Ian's saying he can barely hear me. Hold on a bit. What if I do that, Ian? Is that a bit better?
No. Drooler, the channel's Tottenham touchline.
I know what it is, Ian. Don't worry. I think I've done something here. I don't know what it is. But
Cheers, Drew. I appreciate that.
is that any better?
Bit better.
Right, it'll have to do for tonight. Sorry about that, people. So we've got over to the Dana list. Lubo's Tottenham touchline, by the way, people. Get over to Tottenham touchline. Dave, Spurs syndrome. Got anything coming up, mate?
No, not this week. I'll probably start again from next week. Obviously I told you earlier. Obviously something's happened with my old man. He's really poorly at the moment, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on him this week. And
We're all talked out after last night, ain't we, Dave?
pardon?
We're all talked out after last night. 6.5 hours.
6.5 hours. Yeah, fuck me. And yeah, no. So I'm going to monitor my dad for the rest of this week, and then I'll be back on my channel next week.
Absolutely, Dave. I hope everything goes well. with
Yeah,
your
I hope
dad.
it does,
Yeah.
right, mate.
I hope he gets
Sorry
well,
to hear
mate.
that, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Rowley, what you got coming up, mate? If anything, I know you just alluded to. You did a mega stream. I think it was yesterday. You did a
Yeah,
mega
last
stream.
night. Yeah, went through to about. It was 7 till about 2:30 in the morning, wasn't it? So, Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
of
was
course.
funny.
Oh, Rowley.
Talking everything but football in the end.
Yeah, it started off football, and then it went off to like movies, and then it went back to football, and then it just went to
Cartoons. Food.
Cartoons, the pyramids, Jeffrey Epstein.
It went everywhere, didn't it?
Oh, God.
Then it went back to
Degenerate.
football. Then it went back to football, didn't it?
Oh,
It was just like pretty mad.
There you go. Well, as long
They're
as
the
you
best
enjoy it.
ones.
Oh, conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
That's it. As long
Yeah,
as you enjoy
conspiracy.
it, Rowley, that's the main thing. That's what. And if you're sitting there for 6 hours, mate, talking with your mates about all sorts, then you must be enjoying yourself. That's all I can say.
Well, it was
Exactly.
a bit of
That's
something
all, man.
different, wasn't it? It
That's
was.
it.
I mean, what is there to talk about Spurs at the minute? You know what I mean?
There's
Savinho.
always something to talk about Spurs, Rowley. Always.
Well, I'm gonna get a flag done. Same as this one. It's going to say free Savinho. I'm going to get it.
That'll do. That'll do.
Free Pepe.
We're gonna wrap up, people. Thanks everyone for being here today, tonight. I should say, really appreciate it. Big thanks to everyone who's been on this evening.
Yeah.
Appreciate you all as usual. Anyone else got anything to say before I wrap up?
No, I'm good, mate. Wrap up, mate.
I would say come and watch me on Twitch, but no one does.
No, well, it is what it is, Corey. Big up to you all. Big up to the chat. Don't forget. there's
Big
no
up the
breakfast
Spurs
brunch
family.
in the morning. We will be back on it's Tuesday today, isn't it? Yeah, we'll be back on Thursday morning. There you go. Thanks for being here, everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
night.
Spurs.
Free.
Good night,
See you
everyone.
later, chaps.
Lads down the lane with the pure coys